The latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. It is 5:10. The legal fight over Washington's new sheriff oversight law is heating up. Yesterday, a judge moved a lawsuit filed by 4 sheriffs from Pend Oreille County to Thurston County Superior Court. They're challenging a new law that lets an oversight board remove elected sheriffs from office and sets new qualifications. According to the Spokesman Review, Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles calls it legislative overreach. The Washington State Sheriff's Association filed its own similar lawsuit last week. Both want a judge to block that law from taking effect. We told you 5 massage parlors in Bothell were shut down for fire code violations while police investigate suspected prostitution and human trafficking. Well, KIRO 7's Jack Bilyeu spoke with a couple who owns 2 of the parlors. They claim they've done nothing wrong.
And you say you're not doing any prostitution?
No.
And you're not doing any human trafficking?
Of course. You can go inside to check.
Lee Wijwo says his wife, Lee Jun Yang, owns 2 of the massage parlors that were shut down during the bust. One's right across the street from Bothell Police Headquarters. The other's right across the street from a church. Lee denies any wrongdoing.
Bothell police say they are continuing their investigation and do expect charges to be filed. A convicted rapist pleaded guilty yesterday to murdering 2 Everett women more than 40 years ago. The Everett Herald reports 68-year-old Mitchell Gaff admitted to killing Susan Vesey in 1980 and Judy Weaver in 1984, both women total strangers to him. Gaff had to read details of the killings out loud in a packed courtroom yesterday. He showed no emotion. DNA from a piece of gum finally cracked the case in 2024. He faces sentencing May 13th. Police say an escapee from Western State Hospital is back in custody. Lakewood Police Sergeant Charles Porsche says SeaTac police arrested Joshua Rice for trespassing on Sunday. They didn't find out until yesterday, though, that he had been caught.
No one else here in the building really seemed to know how that came to be until we started doing a little bit of our own detective work and figured it out.
Rice walked away from Western State March 31st while being held for a court review tied to a Clark County robbery case. A Kitsap County judge could approve a settlement today in the case of a toddler attacked by an otter at a Bremerton marina in 2024. The Port of Bremerton has agreed to pay $350,000 to settle a lawsuit filed by the girl's mother while denying any fault, according to the Seattle Times. The lawsuit claimed the port ignored warnings about aggressive otters. Trader Joe's may owe you some money, as we hear from KIRO 7's Lindsay Sheldon.
The grocery chain has agreed to a $7.4 million settlement over claims that receipts showed too many digits from customers' credit and debit cards. So if you made a purchase between March 2019 and July 2019, you may be eligible for a payout, even if you didn't experience identity theft. The company denies any wrongdoing, but says it's settled to avoid a lengthy legal fight.
The average payout is expected to be about $100 per customer. Well, cruise season is returning to Seattle. And the Port of Seattle expects record numbers this year with 16 different ships and more than 2 million passengers, according to KIRO 7's Brooke Griffin.
They tell us with this many cruise ships docking in Seattle, their new shore power initiative is essential to keeping emissions down. The Port of Seattle is one of the first in the world to provide a full plug-in to the city grid. That way, ships don't have to idle on diesel while they're here.
The shore power system sort of looks like a giant plug that you would plug into an appliance at home. The difference is that plug carries enough power to power a small city, a city the size of Edmonds.
And this year, Port of Seattle officials say cruise passengers will generate $1.2 billion in revenue for the city.
Ships will make more than 300 sailings to Alaska between now and October. It's 5:13 Friday morning. Let's find out what's happening on the roads. Chris Sullivan is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Amanda. We're off to a
Good morning,
Amanda. We're off to a Friday light. Maybe I need to turn on the microphone. Are you thinking about the weekend? It's a pretty good drive. We're nice and easy out there, all green on the map. Olympia to Tacoma is only a half an hour, and then 35 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Nothing up the Valley Freeway at all. From end to end, from Puyallup to Renton, we're looking at 35 minutes, and then 15 or less from Renton to Bellevue. Across the lake, no problems for you guys coming down from the north end. Nice and easy. Olympia, Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, both about 35 minutes. So all in all, we're right where we should be as we start this Friday morning. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
You did say Friday, right?
Yeah, it is Friday, right?
We made it.
Somehow.
It's going to be beautiful, too. Partly cloudy for today, warming up to 58. Much warmer for the weekend, 67, with a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow, 69 on Sunday, and we should hit 70 on Monday. Looks like we're dry through at least Tuesday. Right now in Seattle, we have mostly cloudy skies. It's 44 degrees. And coming up, we're going to hear from Art Dolan from Battlefield Addiction, how to grapple with the fentanyl addiction running rampant around our cities. We'll check in with Art next on Seattle's Morning News.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but that why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explained this to them that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20-plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a hero. We're giving free consultations via phone and Zoom. Go to DUIHeroes.com or call 1-800-DUI-HERO.
We're human and we make mistakes. If you need someone by your side during a challenging time, DUI Heroes is there for you 24/7. They're excellent at what they do. DUI Heroes averages 90% of all DUI offenses they take on being reduced or completely dismissed. Your DUI defense specialist, DUIHeroes.com.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO News Radio.
Across Washington state, the number of people living in encampments continues to grow despite billions of dollars spent on homeless services and supportive housing programs. Critics say housing first policies, which prioritize placing people in housing without requiring treatment or sobriety. They have done little to address the underlying issues of addiction, they say, and mental illness driving this crisis.
Our guest has spent years working this problem from a different angle. Art Dolan is from Battlefield Addiction, a service he founded years ago, and he helps people get into real recovery and into sobriety, not just housed. Art, thank you for joining us today. We'll talk about the fundraiser you have coming up, but I just want to start with what sounds kind of like a controversial statement here in the Seattle area, and that is housing first does not seem to be working.
Well, there's an insinuation, and I think that the argument has the argument over what this actually is, whether this is a housing crisis or whether this is a drug and mental illness crisis, seems to be a longstanding argument. And I would say to the people that say we need to house people first, I would say, well, if it's a housing crisis, then why is it only first? Why isn't it just housing then? Why is it housing first? Because housing first insinuates that there's something else that this person needs. And now, if we have these policies where we're housing people, but we aren't giving them second. So my question is, what is second? And we hear terms like wraparound services and things like that, but we've never seen them come to fruition. We've never seen this model that they speak of. And we're talking about years and years of hearing this. So when does it happen? And how much money do we need for that to occur? I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying you haven't done it. And I'm saying it's almost cruel to leave people out on the streets, even if a homeless person happened to be sober and down on their luck and out on the streets, even them, they might accept drug treatment or any kind of sober housing then. We could just do that, you know. So why aren't these people that are out on the streets not having a home accepting treatment and sober living then? They don't have a drug problem. They could go to sober living. So there's an insinuation that housing first is happening, but it's not even really happening because there's no second and there's no third. So my question is how long until it happens?
Art, you don't tiptoe around terms like addict. You call them drug camps. You say sobriety out loud. Mm-hmm. Why does that make some people uncomfortable this day and age?
Well, I've been inundated with a bunch of new terms. I've been in this I was a drug addict for 17 years. And, after that, I've been sober. I've been sober now for 15. And I've been doing things. And these terms I've been inundated with them. Substance use disorder. We sit around in meetings of AA or NA or whatever kind of meetings, and we call ourselves addicts. So I don't understand why people feel it's offensive because we call ourselves that. No one ever asked. So I always wonder why these terms change. I've been inundated with terms like housing first. I've been inundated with terms. Evidence-based is a term that I've been given. And my question to every time I hear the term is evidence of what? What? What is the evidence of? Are we talking about evidence of an independent human being? Are we talking about evidence of somebody was doing one drug and now they've been put on another drug? What is the evidence you speak of? So it's kind of this argument that I've been hearing that your stuff over here doesn't work, but we have evidence-based. And then when I say evidence of what, they don't have an answer. And they might, and so I'm waiting for those answers because what we have is a very difficult process. What we're doing is kind of difficult. To take somebody from drug addiction to sobriety to independence is a tall order. So that's why maybe our success rates aren't that high, because getting off drugs is a very difficult thing. So maybe
another term we hear a lot is harm reduction. I am guessing you have some thoughts on that too.
Well, I think we've missed, harm reduction is usually used as a last resort. It's a last resort. If you have a human being that there's no other way that they won't stop using drugs, they're going to use, then what we used to do is say, well, if you're going to use, here, please use clean needles. Be safe. There's nothing we can do. We are using harm reduction as our first move. So it's not even a question. Before we ask people if they even need help, if they want to stop, if maybe they want to go to treatment, we're saying, here's supplies, here, use. So it's not at this point harm reduction. At this point, it has to be called providing. It has to be called allowing.
Art Dolan, Battlefield Addiction, big fundraiser coming up May 9th.
Come on,
details.
sign up. We need you there. It's a fun day. We've got booths and food and coffee, and we have a great time.
All right. Art, thank you for your time this morning.
You're welcome. Thanks. You.
Our forecast, we are headed into a beautiful weekend for today. Just partly cloudy, 58. A mix of sun and clouds for tomorrow and Sunday. We'll be pushing 70 by Sunday. 70 is the official forecast high for Monday. Looks like Tuesday's going to be nice too, although we'll cool down to the low 60s. But no rain in the forecast until late in the day on Tuesday. Right now, it is mostly cloudy and 44 in Seattle. Coming up, the day's top stories, and KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden has your weekend planner. This is KIRO News Radio.
The throw to first, and it's in time. Holy smokes, what a play
T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But if you're looking for a truly golden view, look no further than the seats on the first baseline, a.k.a. Trident Town. Post up behind the Mariners dugout and you get a great view of Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and our entire rotation at work.
Swing and a miss! Fastball upstairs, blew it by him, strike 3.
Not to mention the best view of the best home run celebration in baseball. When the Trident goes up, you know a party's going down.
It is gone!
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The Mariners are back in town today for a 6-game homestand. Don't miss tonight's Kingdome Fanny Pack Hat Night at 6:40 versus the Rangers. Thanks to Global Credit Union and 3 straight Mariners value games against the A's. Monday through Wednesday with tickets starting under $12. Lock in your seats at mariners.com.
Walter is a soccer player, a soccer coach, and a soccer dad. So when he injured his Achilles, it affected everything.
Every time I ran or tried to play soccer, it would just get worse.
And he wasn't the only one dealing with it.
I was a soccer parent, and within a few weeks, 2 other fathers tore their Achilles or damaged their Achilles. They went to the surgery. I went to Dr. Mark Wagner, and I was back up and running, and they were jealous because it took them months to recover. One of them never fully recovered.
That's right. Walter chose to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy. The most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures.
The recovery period is so short, and the feeling that you have of being completely back to normal is overwhelming.
So, whether it's a hip, like I had, a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
This week's First Mark Challenge victory, well, it goes to Mike. Hey, Mike, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
My wife and I moved here from New York City and found this great guy. It got pricey, but because he was good to us over the years, we stayed loyal to him. But then one day I got an increase that was quite unacceptable. So I made one phone call. I didn't do any shopping. My wife told me to call First Mark.
Mike, were they able to save you and your family money?
Oh, yes. It was over $100 a month.
What would you tell others they can expect when they call First Mark?
The most competitive pricing that you can find. And they had terrific customer service. Even if you're on the phone with them, you can tell they have a smile on their face, so you can tell they love what they're doing.
Do you wish you would have made that call earlier?
I was just kicking myself as you were speaking because I didn't do it sooner.
Well, you just heard. Mike did it. My family did it. You got to do it too. It's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. That's firstmarkinsurance.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in store and online. Staples, that was easy.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:30. I'm Manda Factor. Just 2 days ago, the city of Seattle swept a homeless encampment in West Seattle's Rotary Viewpoint Park, right next to the West Seattle Golf Course. Well, KIRO News Radio's James Lynch went back yesterday to see where things stand.
Beneath the totem pole in the center of the park, more than a dozen people have returned, many of them doing drugs out in the open. 2 tents have been re-erected, and neighbors are frustrated with how little has changed.
Them doing the sweep is obviously understandable, but I think there needs to be kind of a follow-up that doesn't allow that to be a habit of them needing to sweep them from the area.
Most of those we talk to are sympathetic, but they acknowledge it's a complex problem with no easy solution. In West Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
New data from the University of Washington shows a major shift in how drugs are being used. Latest trends show users are far more likely to smoke drugs rather than inject them. The data comes from people who visited syringe service programs in the state. It found the number of people injecting drugs last year dropped below 50%. That's down from 90% in 2021. Methamphetamine remains the most commonly used drug, and homelessness continues to be widespread among survey participants. 8 Snohomish County firefighters are asking the U.S. Supreme Court now to take up their COVID fight. The group sued Snohomish Regional Fire and Rescue after they were put on leave for refusing the vaccine on religious grounds in 2021. They lost at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. According to the Seattle Times, their attorneys filed a petition yesterday asking the justices to reverse that ruling. The so-called Snohomish 8 were among thousands of workers required to get the vaccine under then-Governor Jay Inslee's order. The fire agency offered religious accommodations, but ultimately wouldn't let them stay in their jobs. The legal battle's been going on now since 2022. A former Lake Stevens student will get $2 million in a settlement over allegations of grooming. Kaylin Tabor says her former math teacher at Lake Stevens High School tried to groom her when she was 15, and the district didn't take her claims seriously. The teacher was arrested by police but was never charged and is no longer with the district.
Detective Kristen Parnell has been investigating cases like these for years. She says it's important for parents to listen to their kids and know the signs of someone trying to groom their child.
People who are having sexual conversations or, inappropriate conversations about maybe physical development. That's a huge red flag.
KIRO 7's Jake Chapman says the school district has issued a statement saying they're committed to providing a safe, supportive, and positive learning environment. Well, the World Cup is fueling a short-term rental boom in Seattle. The Puget Sound Business Journal reports listing on sites like Airbnb and Vrbo jumped more than 6% in March compared to last year. That's nearly 12,000 listings across the city. Seattle hosts 6 World Cup matches in June and July, and homeowners want a piece of the action. The average nightly rate on match nights is now running around $494, more than double what it was a year ago. Airbnb estimates a typical rental could bring in more than $10,000 during the tournament. It's 5:33. That's time for a check on traffic, and for that, we turn it over to Chris Sullivan.
And we do have our first little hiccup of the morning, and it's on southbound 405 right at 522 in Woodinville-Bothell. Looks like the right lane is blocked. The car is over kind of in the Gore Point where 522 joins on the right-hand side, but the IRT truck is blocking that far right lane just to give them a little safety zone. So a little bit of a backup there from about 195th coming down. So give yourself about 40 minutes from Everett down into Bellevue, only 35 from Everett into Seattle. Rest of the map looks very good. Fresh Friday, Fast Friday, Friday light, call it what you want. So far, so good. We're looking at Olympia to Tacoma at 30 minutes. Tacoma on up to Seattle, nice and easy. And then Puyallup to Renton, freeway speed the whole way until you get to the far north end into those ramp meters. And then Renton to Bellevue, not bad. A little bit of hesitation near Sunset, but 17 minutes up to Bellevue's a great number. The lake bridges are fine. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
I'm going to call it a fabulous Friday.
Okay, I'm down.
It's going to be nice, too. We're going to see some sunshine. Just a mix of clouds and sun. 58 for today. Tomorrow, quite a bit warmer, warming up to 67. Again, mix of clouds and sunshine. Same deal on Sunday, maybe a couple degrees warmer. Should hit 70 on Monday with lots of sunshine. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 44.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
It's now 5:35. We survived the crazy weather of the week. The weekend is almost here, and if you're still looking for something to do, KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden has you covered.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what?
The rain might have rolled through this weekend and cooled things off a bit, but warmer temperatures are in sight for a weekend full of fun. It's a big weekend for the music lovers as Record Store Day is Saturday. There are going to be exclusive deals, exclusive records, and lots more going on at record stores across the state. You're going to want to plan ahead and get to your favorite shop early. I mean, some of you might already be lined up, so you don't miss out on the records you want. I did have someone reach out with a shout out to Musicology in Edmonds, which is turning the day into a mini music festival with multiple live shows, exclusive giveaways, and Record Store Day drops. You can see all the action on Record Store Day on Saturday. Record Store Day isn't the only big shopping event of the weekend for fans of vinyl. The Northwest's largest garage and vintage sale is taking over the Clark County Event Center in Ridgefield Saturday from 8 to 5. There are over 600 indoor garage sales, and the sellers keep 100% of the sales. Get tickets and additional details on the event's website. If you're looking for a free event to take the family to this weekend, the Fisher Pavilion in the Seattle Center is hosting the 17th Annual Seattle International Children's Friendship Festival. This volunteer-run event highlights music, dance, and art from around the world and also has hands-on activities that focus on STEM. The International Children's Festival is Saturday and Sunday starting at 11 a.m. and is free. Also in the Seattle Center this weekend, you might see a lot of our furry friends, but not the usual folks out just walking their dogs. Cats are the star of the show at Pop Cats, a convention that is all about cats, featuring speakers and workshops to teach you about cats, vendors for you to pamper your pet, and an opportunity to add to your family with adoptable cats. Don't worry, this is not just an event for people. The cats are invited too, so bring your family friend along with you. Pop Cat is Saturday and Sunday at the Seattle Center Exhibition Hall. Earth Day is coming up on Wednesday, the 22nd, and there are a variety of events to kick off the celebrations this Saturday, including the Earth Day Run at Magnuson Park and Earth Fest at the Bellevue Botanical Gardens, which runs from 11 to 3, is free and features family-friendly activities, resource booths, and live music. There's also Earth Day celebrations at Meridian Habitat Park in Puyallup and at Saltwater State Park in Des Moines. If you're up for a bit of an adventure this weekend, a listener reached out and said the weather is going to be perfect for the Long Beach Razor Clam Festival. The seafood celebration will have food trucks, local vendors, live music, cook-offs, an oyster shucking contest, and plenty of family fun. There will be daily clam digging lessons and clam cleaning demos so you can learn how to harvest clams for your own bounty of Pacific Razor clams. The festival is today and tomorrow in Long Beach. It is a busy sports weekend as the Mariners are back at home taking on a couple of AL West rivals during their next homestand. The Texas Rangers are in town over the weekend, and it is a weekend packed full of great promos, including the Kingdome Fanny Pack hat tonight, Cal Raleigh 70s Jersey Night Saturday, and 70s Pin Day on Sunday. The Mariners are also doing Stitch and Pitch at the ballpark on Sunday, so feel free to bring your own projects to work on or check out the Mariner Moose Crochet Kit and access to the vendor fair on the rooftop boardwalk. The Seattle Sounders take on St. Louis City SC at Lumen Field Saturday night. Match time is 6:30. There's also a couple of roller derby bouts this weekend as well. Rat City Roller Derby has a doubleheader at Hangar 30 in Magnuson Park Saturday at 3:30 and 6. Doors opening at 2. And Jet City Roller Derby has a doubleheader at the Edmonds Community College in the Seaview Gym in Linwood at 5 and 7 p.m. with doors opening at 4. How are you enjoying the final stretch of April? Let me know at paulh@KIRORadio.com. Paul Holden, KIRO News Radio.
High winds are messing with one of the country's most profitable music festivals.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad for an angel.
Last weekend, fans at Coachella were disappointed when high winds kicked up in Indio, California, creating a dust storm. A set by DJ Anima had to be canceled. The artist explained the gusty conditions made it impossible to build a stage and perform safely. Researchers say the windstorms are only the beginning. A study found damage from wind and dust erosion cost the U.S. about $154 billion in 1 year alone. There are also concerns about rising cases of valley fever, life-threatening respiratory infections. The newly nicknamed Dustchella continues this weekend. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
It's 5:39. National headlines coming up next here on KIRO Newsradio.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed. The 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Remember when you used to wake up ready to take on the world? Well, lately, not so much. Brain fog, the exhaustion, that feeling like you're just not you anymore. It's not your imagination, and you do not have to keep pushing through it. At Juvacor Health and Wellness Center, hormone replacement therapy starts with something you are not going to find online, a real conversation, face-to-face, with a female provider who genuinely gets it. Led by Dr. Lucy Hostetter, a board-certified physician, her team has spent the last 7 years specializing in one thing, helping women feel like themselves again. This is their focus. It's what they do. Your care is driven by labs, by listening, and by a personalized treatment plan that's dialed into your body and your life. And they follow up. This kind of care has to be personal. With convenient locations now in both Tacoma and Bellevue, Dr. Hostetter's practice has expanded from the flagship location, which was Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center in Bellevue. You deserve a provider who makes the uncomfortable conversations comfortable. Reach out today at juvacorehealth.com. That's JUVECORE health.com. Feel like yourself again.
Summer's a busy time for most businesses, and WaFd Bank is here to help you keep up. WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, business credit cards, credit lines, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd also offers payment processing, so customers can pay through a kiosk, a mobile app, or online for seamless transactions. And with so many options, WaFd Bank is quickly becoming an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you'll find the perfect fit to meet your goals. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com, member FDIC, loan subject to credit approval.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletime.com/subscribe.
Hey, it's John Curley with my friend Bob Stelton. Hey, Bob, you had a hip issue just like me. You went to see Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. What did he tell you?
You got a torn labrum, you got a frayed ligament, you've got arthritis developing. He said, this isn't going to fix everything, but it will go a long way. I was walking around at about an 8 pain level. I couldn't walk that far before the pain would kick in, and it was impacting my workouts and just really impacting my day-to-day stuff beyond jiu-jitsu.
So, just like me, Dr. Wagner does stem cell on your hip. How you feeling now?
I feel like I've gotten back to being who I was prior to the injuries, which was somebody who's very active, loves being out there outside when the weather's great, being on the motorcycle, sparring in jiu-jitsu, working out. I can do all of those things now.
So whether it's a shoulder, a hip, a wrist, knee, or elbow, before you choose surgery, see our friend, Dr. Wagner first. He'll tell you if stem cell is right for you. drmarkwagnermd.com. Make an appointment at drmarkwagnermd.com.
CBS News Brief. Hezbollah says it has its finger on the trigger in case Israel violates its new 10-day truce with Lebanon. The BBC's Hugo Bachega reports from Beirut. Despite warnings not to, many are returning to their homes in southern Lebanon.
This will be the first time that a lot of people will be seeing the damage, the destruction caused by the war.
The Pope and the President, Trump, continue their back and forth over the Iran war.
The Pope can say what he wants, and I want him to say what he wants. But I can disagree.
I think that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Latest from the Pope, woe to those who manipulate religion. Singer David, real name David Anthony Burke, arrested overnight in the murder of a 14-year-old girl. Body found in his Tesla. CBS News LA's Lori Perez.
Police found the body of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas last September in the trunk of a Tesla registered to Burke 17 months after her Lake Elsinore family reported her missing.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Our forecast, it's going to be a lovely Friday. We are looking for a mix of sun and clouds today, 58 the high. Overnight low around 43. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 67. We'll be up around 69 on Sunday with a few more clouds and just partly sunny as you head back to work on Monday. We should hit 70 on Monday. Right now in Seattle, cloudy skies, it's 44 degrees. Coming up, what would it look like if Sound Transit actually made people pay their fares? Chris Sullivan has a choke point next on Seattle's Morning News.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's Morning News.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
You can't have all the titles. You're a conduit and a guru.
I'm many things to many people.
Conda Guru.
Oh, Conda Guru. I like that.
All right. Well, cutting service, bailing on Ballard, West Seattle, Everett, Tacoma, eliminating stations. Everything's on the table as Sound Transit looks to fill a $34 billion budget hole.
Sully has a few ideas. Perhaps Sound Transit should rein in the customers and require fare payments.
Shocking. Perhaps. Now, again, to preface this whole conversation, recouping fare money at the box isn't going to solve the $34 billion budget hole. You know, it's probably not going to be a major amount, but it's something. And when you're looking for anything, something is important. So light rail riders used to pay nearly every time. Fare compliance was north of 90% in the 2010s. That's when the service started between Seattle and Tukwila before expanding to the airport, Angle Lake, and then University of Washington during the 2010s. But during the pandemic, fare compliance cratered. According to the latest numbers from Sound Transit, which come from the year 2024, about 61% of riders actually pay when they get on board light rail today. 61%. It's not good, but it's up from 55% coming out of the pandemic. So we're moving in the right direction, but still, that's pretty pathetic. One dynamic contributing to that number is actually, you got to think about this because everything's factored in here. Anyone under 19 rides for free now. right? So those boardings they count into that kind of technically, well, they're boarding, but they're not paying a fare. So I want to be fair to Sound Transit in all of this. That's FAIR, not FARE. So, of course, Sound Transit checked for fares when service started. Really hasn't checked for fares in any meaningful way since the defund the police movement forced the agency to kick fare enforcement officers off of the trains. The fare ambassadors that replace them really don't put any fear into riders. They certainly aren't checking when thousands of riders pour out of the stadiums and get onto the trains after games. And why is a lack of fare enforcement important? When your agency is bleeding money and facing a $34 billion budget hole, maybe having paying customers would help. Sound Transit promised voters it would get 40% of its overall funding from fares. The agency has since lowered its expectations to 17%. And as of today, the actual number is just 12%. Maybe it's time to start collecting fare money. And to Sound Transit's credit, it is considering a pilot project that would install fare gates, or turnstiles, as the rest of the world calls them and as the rest of the world uses them, at several of the stations to make sure riders are paying.
What I care about the most is encouraging people to pay the fares and making sure that they do.
That is Sound Transit board member Claudia Balducci, who believes that adding fare gates could make a difference.
There may be some locations where turnstiles are the answer. There's just too much fare jumping, and we want to block it off. But I don't think we need to do it at every single one of these stations. And what I want to do is be data-based about it.
A pilot project, if adopted, would study fare gates at 5 of the busiest locations. Balducci thinks that's a good idea because she doesn't believe every station would need them.
I am most interested in doing what will get people to pay the fares. And I don't know that we need to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in retrofitting all our stations to make that happen.
The million-dollar question here, though, is why did so many riders suddenly stop paying? A lot of people believe it's a lack of enforcement. There are a lot of different answers for that particular question, and it basically comes down to yourself as a transit rider. All Balducci really cares about here is that she sees that fare compliance going back up.
It is a huge part of our funding, and there is definitely something to the fares are the way we all contribute to the system that we all benefit from, and it makes people care more for that system because they're contributing to it. So there's lots of reasons why fares are important.
I remember asking Sound Transit 15 years ago why fare gates were not installed on the front end. I was told that Seattle is not a turnstile city. That's not who we are. Not sure what that meant then. I still don't know what that means today.
I was just going to ask.
But one of the main reasons turnstiles were not installed on the front end is because Sound Transit chose to put a lot of the tracks at grade or at street level. Imagine turnstiles at all the stops up and down MLK. People would just walk around them, which would mean they would have pedestrians in the roads or walking on the tracks. Not exactly safe, and really probably not a good reason to put gates at every station. But how about at a lot of them, or at some of them? Something needs to be done, because Sound Transit has a choice. Force its customers to actually pay for its service, or keep bleeding red ink. And when you're facing a $34 billion hole, any little bit in the bank account helps.
So I was reading this, Steve Murch, who posts a lot on X, he talked about what happened in San Francisco where they started to install those fare gates. They started making an extra $10 million a year because of this, and less corrective maintenance, as they call it, so less vandalism at the stations with the gates, graffiti, cleaning in the paid areas. So it can work in San Francisco in terms of its politics, very similar to Seattle.
But again, as we said, $10 million a year isn't going to fix a $34 billion hole.
Something.
But a little bit is a little bit. And you talk about some of the ancillary things, less cleanup, less graffiti, maybe less crime. Think of some of the stations that we have that are very, very crime-ridden. I'm thinking of the one, kind of there by Goodwill, kind of coming out of the, in that general area of downtown. If you didn't have access to the platform where a lot of that crime is happening because you had to pay, or maybe if you were jumping, if there was a deterrent to that, maybe we would have that kind of effect as well. So I think it's something that's worth, do they need to be everywhere? I don't know, but I think it's somewhat insane.
I'm curious.
To not force your passengers to pay.
Councilmember Balducci says something about not wanting to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in the turnstiles. Is that really what the price tag would be like?
Well, I mean, there are 40 stations right now. Yeah. And so some of them, I mean, you could see how that could balloon into what you would have to do to kind of retrofit those stations. I'm sure. And in this state, we know how to spend taxpayer money really well, so I'm sure they'd be the greatest turnstiles in the history of the world. Diamond encrusted, and no, I'm joking.
So here was the estimate in San Francisco. This, again, according to Steve Murch, is that it was a total cost of $90 million to install the gates, $125,000 a pop. But over the long term, after the first 9 years of this being in place, that's when it starts paying for itself.
Yeah, and I can see that. But I'm not as familiar with BART as I should be, because that's what we're talking about. But do they have as many at-grade stations as we do, or do they have places where more like a traditional, like an L or a somewhere, or working around the Beltway where you have to go to there's certain stations and you go and that's just where they are, as opposed to just a place where you can catch a train like you can on MLK. But I'm all for it. Well, let's give it a try.
I'm still stuck on Seattle is not a turnstile city. I mean, I don't get it.
It's not who we are, Amanda.
Apparently.
You apparently don't get it.
We have to pay for what we're supposed to pay for?
That was a weird answer 15 years ago. It still is a weird answer to me today.
That's Chris Sullivan. You can find all of his choke points at mynorthwest.com. It's 5:54 Friday morning. It's going to be a lovely day. Partly cloudy, 58 for today. Overnight low around 43. Tomorrow, we're going to warm up to 67. Mix of clouds and sun for both days on the weekend. 69 on Sunday, and Monday looks great. Should hit 70 on Monday. Still dry for the bulk of Tuesday. Might see some showers late in the day Tuesday. Right now in Seattle, we have mostly cloudy skies. It's 44 degrees. Coming up, more of the day's top stories. A UW study claiming that meth use is up in the Seattle area. Luke Ducey's going to dive into some of that data. Plus, we're going to head to Tel Aviv to check in with News Nation international correspondent Robert Sherman. Is Israel and Hezbollah agree on a 10-day ceasefire? You are listening to Seattle's Morning News. You can always reach us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Norm. Norm, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
Spending too much money on insurance, and it just kept on going up higher and higher and higher. And this last time I did the First Mark Challenge.
So they were able to save you some money, Norm?
Oh, yeah, at least $2,000 a year.
What?
At least.
Wow. You ever feel like, man, I wish I would have taken that First Mark Challenge earlier?
Yes. I mean, $2,000 I could have saved a year, over probably 4 or 5 years. Wow.
How would you describe their customer service?
Fantastic. Beyond expectation. Call First Mark. They treat you like a real person, that they have your best interest in mind.
Norm did it. My family did it. You got to do it. And it's totally free. Go take the First Mark Challenge. See how much money they can save you like they did Norm, and how much better your coverage will get to. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory I get to talk to. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
It's difficult to trust someone with your loved one's care. Aegis Living earns your trust every single day. Voted best senior living in Western Washington and ranked #1 senior living community in all of America by Seniorly. Aegis sets the standard for luxury assisted living and award-winning memory care. Resort-style comfort with state-of-the-art AI fall prevention, a staff who loves what they do, and your loved ones. Schedule a tour today at aegisliving.com/KIRO. That's AEGIS living.com/KIRO and get a special take-home gift. Aegis Living. This must be the place.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Gas prices keep climbing, but the cost to drive doesn't have to. Subaru of Puyallup has a wonderful selection of fuel-efficient models, from the all-electric Solterra to hybrid options. With stress-free pricing and all-wheel drive confidence, SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Despite warnings to stay away, Lebanese civilians are heading home as a 10-day truce between Israel and Hezbollah begins. The BBC's Karine Torbay is there.
They told us they're really happy and relieved that basically there is this kind of a halt in the bombardment, a ceasefire. But there is very cautious optimism when it comes to how long can this ceasefire last.
Hezbollah says has its finger on the trigger in case Israel violates the terms. U.S.-Iran negotiations could resume this weekend. In Washington, a House member raising suspicions about another member of Congress and claims of sexual misconduct. Republican Anna Paulina Luna tells CBS News she's asked Senate leaders to look at potential allegations against Arizona's Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego. CBS's Nicole Killian on Capitol Hill.
Congresswoman Luna says she has been in touch with Leader Thune's office. He told us the matter has been referred to the Senate Ethics Committee, but a spokesperson for Senator Gallego says he has not been notified or contacted by the panel.
Gallego flatly denies any wrongdoing. This week, Democrat Eric Swalwell and Republican Tony Gonzalez both resigned over alleged sexual misconduct. Workers in Sheboygan, Michigan are racing to shore up a dam after weeks of rain added to snowmelt there. Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Crews have been working incredibly hard to put down sandbags, place pumps, remove gates, restart the turbine, and increase the flow of water around and through the dam.
That dam was built in 1922. No matter where you live, Whitmer says it's another sign the country's 100-year-old infrastructure isn't holding up. Ford is recalling 1.4 million F-150 pickups. WWJ's Jeff Gilbert has details from Detroit.
The 2015 through 17 F-150s have automatic transmissions that can unexpectedly downshift. At least one crash and 2 injuries have been reported, along with 444 warranty claims. Ford says an electrical connection can wear down over time, leading to signal loss from the transmission range sensor.
Former college defensive tackle allegedly posed as an NFL player for money. CBS's Michael Wallace.
Luther Davis won a national championship at Alabama in 2010.
Crimson Tide wins the national championship.
Federal prosecutors say Davis and his co-conspirator C.J. Evans wore wigs and makeup to impersonate 3 NFL players.
All to get fraudulent loans. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible?
Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
6:03 now, Friday morning. Let's check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
Yeah, we're in pretty good shape. We do have some braking on southbound 405 right through the Canyon Park area. I think this is just kind of the leftovers from an earlier stall we had about 30 minutes ago right at 522. Either way, you got about a 40-minute trip from Everett down into Bellevue and about 35 from Everett into Seattle. That's our one little hiccup so far on the morning. Overall, it is a fast Friday out there. We are looking at Olympia to Tacoma, 30 minutes, and 35 from Federal Way up to Seattle. 35 as well from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue's only 15. Across the lake, we're still doing really well, so we're off to a pretty good start. This report brought to you by D.R. Horton. D.R. Horton has new homes and communities across Puget Sound and Central Washington, all ready for you. Visit drhorton.com, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. At 6:04, a new survey from the University of Washington finds injection drug use across the region has dropped by nearly 50%.
This study also suggests methamphetamine has overtaken fentanyl as the drug of choice on the streets and that housing, not sobriety, is the solution.
But KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with a closer look at a more complicated story.
Yeah, that's right, Charlie. I just had a conversation with Ryan not too long ago, like half an hour ago or so, who lives on the streets. He was sitting with his dog and his things, playing a video game on a laptop plugged into an outlet on the side of a building. I asked him, what does he see? More meth or more fentanyl?
I'd say there's more fentanyl than there's meth. I mean, I've had to save like five people just this month with Narcan, and I don't even do it. You know, I don't even do this stuff.
The survey put out by Calabanta Green with the UW School of Public Health also claims injection drug use drops from 93% to 44% since 2021, with smoking drugs now dominant. The city of Seattle said it recently cleaned up about 661,000 needles from parks and other areas around the city. Ryan tells me he sees people smoking and injecting every day, and he told me exactly where to score.
Everybody has it everywhere. It's everywhere, and like literally, you go on the third Street or 12th and Jackson or any of the needle exchanges. There's tons of people that have it, and they just hang out there, and it's like you can't even walk by there without somebody asking you. You know, and any of the Plymouth buildings, it's everywhere.
Also, in the survey findings, UW says smoking supplies should be distributed more widely and that housing, not sobriety, is the solution for people using meth. And Seattle's policies seem to mirror that a bit. Just this past Monday, you'll remember City Council unanimously passed 2 ordinances to cut the red tape to fund more shelter space for the homeless and add $4.8 million to help fund housing and wraparound care that would include and could include addiction treatment. Ryan tells me housing is kind of the last thing on anyone's mind on the street. It's the addiction and the massive influx of users to Seattle, he says, right now. And he told me about a guy, to illustrate that he knows that was arrested recently.
He ran out of gas on the freeway. He had a warrant, and the state patrol picked him up, took him to jail, and then they put him all the way down to Louisiana. And then the second he gets out, he's coming right back up here, and he's doing the same thing. And it's like he's not going to stop.
I mean, the interview with Ryan doesn't draw conclusions, of course, but it's a perspective from someone on the streets. I found it interesting that Ryan knew Charlie and Manda exactly where to go. Told me the specific addresses of where to go to score fentanyl.
Well, you have open-air drug markets.
Absolutely.
And where people are congregated and using, that's where people are going. And it feeds upon itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Luke Ducey reporting live. It's 6:07.
Well, just a day after the city of Seattle swept a homeless encampment in West Seattle, some campers were back yesterday, and so was the illegal drug use. This morning, more than a dozen people were back at Rotary Viewpoint Park, also known as Totem Pole Park. Neighbors like Iris Hicks are sympathetic but frustrated.
We wanted homelessness to be solved, so we have thrown tax dollars at it, and nothing substantial has come out of it. We need meaningful action to happen for these folks.
City crews are also back at the park dismantling the tents put back up after the sweep.
An escapee from Western State Hospital on the lam for nearly 2 weeks is back behind bars. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch tells us how it all happened.
Joshua Rice walked away from Western State Hospital March 31st. A statewide search was initiated, but he was nowhere to be found until SeaTac police arrested him Sunday for trespassing. Lakewood Police Sergeant Charles Porsche.
They found out about the warrants that were out for him, and so he was booked into the SCORE jail and then ultimately transported to the Pierce County Jail.
James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Is it just me, or does this song sound even better on a Friday morning?
I think it really is a Friday song. I mean, you should just make that the regulation, Nick. Every Friday at 6:08, this is what you're playing.
I like starting and finishing the week with these ones on 6 a.m.
Love it.
Okay.
It's April 17th. He's Charlie Harger. I'm Manda Factor.
And that is Nick Krasia, who is running the board for us and picking the music. David Burbank, our producer. Chris Sullivan is here watching the roads for us. And we have John Repp out in the newsroom.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Okay, coming up this hour, we head live to Tel Aviv and check in with News Nation international correspondent Robert Sherman. Iran now saying the Strait of Hormuz is, in their words, completely open. We'll ask Robert about that and the ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah.
Also, Luke Ducey returns. He has a new Friday segment on Seattle's Morning News, Fan of the Week. Luke heads to T-Mobile Park every week now to meet some of the best Mariners fans in town. Stay with us.
It's 6:09. Congresswoman Susan DelBene is blasting a new pilot program that says allowing private companies to review Medicare claims. KIRO News Radio's John Repp has a closer look at yesterday's confrontation with the Health and Human Services Secretary.
During a House committee hearing, DelBene targeted an AI-powered pilot program designed to cut waste. She said in reality, it kept a local senior from getting treatment for a herniated disc. Her question for RFK.
Do you think that Joanne's treatment, which would allow her to walk and live with less pain that her doctor has prescribed, do you think that's wasteful?
Do you want me to actually answer that question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a terrible outcome.
She's introduced legislation to stop the AI pilot program. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
We told you 5 massage parlors in Bothell were shut down for fire code violations while police investigate suspected prostitution and human trafficking. Well, KIRO 7's Jack Bilyeu spoke with a couple who owns 2 of the parlors. They claim they've done nothing wrong.
And you say you're not doing any prostitution?
No.
And you're not doing any human trafficking?
Of course. You can go inside to check.
Lee Weijwo says his wife, Lee Jun Yang, owns 2 of the massage parlors that were shut down during the bust. One's right across the street from Bothell Police Headquarters. The other's right across the street from a church. Lee denies any wrongdoing.
Bothell police say they continue their investigation and do expect charges to be filed.
We have an update on the case of the little girl attacked by an otter in Bremerton.
In 2024, the otter dragged the then 2-year-old into Bremerton Marina. According to the Seattle Times, the Port of Bremerton has agreed to pay $350,000 to settle a lawsuit with the girl's mother, though it does not admit fault or further liability. The girl's mother claimed the port had an otter problem at the marina, but didn't take care of it, even though neighbors had pointed it out. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Kitsap County judge could approve the settlement this morning.
Seattle's waterfront is preparing for a big economic boost as cruise ship season kicks off today. KIRO 7's Brooke Griffin reports the 2026 season includes more than 300 sailings to Alaska.
That's all part of a massive popularity boost that Alaskan cruises have seen in the past couple of years. The 2026 Alaska cruise season will rotate through 15 cruise lines and 26 different ships. 2 new Alaska cruises with the Virgin Voyages and the MSC cruises are joining the rotation this year.
Close to 2 million people are expected to embark on a cruise from Seattle this summer.
New stadium in downtown Everett moving forward. The Everett Aquasox and United Soccer League have signed 30-year leases and committed $17 million toward a 5,000-seat venue. City staff announced it at this week's council meeting. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, the design is 60% complete, but the city still needs to buy 16 properties and close a $25 million funding gap to open by 2027.
It's now 6:12, and that's time for a check on the weather as we get ready for the weekend. Time to say good morning to KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Nick Allard. Good morning.
What a morning so far. It's really nice out there. Now, we do have a few sprinkles left, most of which are kind of like around the Renton area to Issaquah. That's kind of it, though. Otherwise, we are going to see some increasing sun. So you have a little cloud cover this morning. You have a few sprinkles, but then we see sunshine increasing. The thing is, not all day, because, yeah, you get some great sunshine today. You're also going to see some increasing clouds late in the day that will lead to some changes. Not big changes, but just changes. So we're in the 30s and 40s now. You will look for some increasing sun, and then late this afternoon, we'll go back the other way. Clouds are going to start pushing back in again. So with that, you'll just see mostly cloudy skies after about like 6 or so, which means by mid to late morning, we see some sun. And for the rest of the day, it's pretty nice until late afternoon. So I do think it'll be pretty good. Highs will be in the upper 50s. Tomorrow, we're in the upper 60s, and it's pretty much the same kind of day. I think you'll get with some partly cloudy conditions at times, mostly cloudy, at times partly cloudy, and much warmer in the upper 60s. Sunday looks wonderful as well, but Sunday is just going to be cloudy, or at least mostly cloudy. I don't think you're going to have to deal with any moisture. I do think you're going to see upper 60s and mostly cloudy conditions, and then we'll see about 70 or so for Monday. In fact, I wanted to put 70 for Sunday, but I decided not to because we have more clouds. So yes, a little bit of cloud cover on Sunday, still a great day, but then we look for some 70s with sunshine by Monday.
I'm going with 70 for Sunday.
Just do it either way. Why not?
Nick, thank you. Right now it's cloudy and 44 in Seattle.
Time to check traffic now. Every 10 minutes, here's Chris Sullivan.
We're doing really well, Charlie, as we work our way around the sound today. Just a little bit of braking on southbound 405 as you work your way past Canyon Park. But overall, 35 minutes from Everett to Bellevue is really good. We're under 35 from Everett to Seattle. We really don't even have any significant slowing past the Forest Merge at Northgate there. So all in all, pretty good coming down out of the north end. And I mean, looking really good all the way from Arlington as well. 522 isn't too bad either. 9 looks really good. Coming up from the south end, Olympia to Tacoma's freeway speed the whole way, 30 minutes there. And then Federal Way to Seattle is running right around 35 or less. No brakes on that corridor either, which is really fabulous. 35 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. You are going to hesitate a little bit tying into 405, but that's not a big deal. And then Renton to Bellevue is about 16 minutes. Lake bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text APP to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates sent right to your phone.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show. Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
6:15 now. President Trump headed to Las Vegas yesterday, where he talked up his economic policies.
News Nation Washington correspondent Kristen Eskow reports it comes as gas prices remain high because of the war in Iran.
The president mostly focused on his tax policies, especially no tax on tips, but also briefly addressed the fluctuating oil prices. He's making his pitch to voters with the midterm elections looming later this year.
This is the birthplace of a little idea known as no tax on tips. This is the birthplace.
Speaking at a roundtable with workers in Las Vegas, President Trump touted his tax policy.
Here in Las Vegas, many workers have reported refunds of $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 or more.
The president argued his policies are working to reduce inflation, as he and members of his administration have sought to offer reassurances that energy costs will come down once the Iran war ends.
Don't forget, we're having some fake inflation because of the fuel, the energy prices. Let's see what happens over the next week or so.
But Democrats see it differently.
$4 gas is not going to go away even if the president declares victory tomorrow.
With the midterm elections looming and control of Congress at stake, Democrats have also focused their messaging on the economy.
Gas prices out of control, housing costs out of control, health insurance premiums out of control.
Many Republicans on Capitol Hill say they also want to see gas prices come down, but argue their economic record is stronger than Democrats.
Because of the crazy economic policies of the Biden administration. We're paying for that like right now. Once this war is over, we'll start seeing an easing of energy prices.
Later today, the president will travel to Phoenix to speak at a Turning Point USA event. Kristen Eskow, News Nation, Washington.
We are watching the price of oil plunge right now, down 10%. This is coming after Iranian officials have announced within the past few minutes that the Strait of Hormuz, in their words, is now completely open.
Let's bring in News Nation correspondent Robert Sherman. He is in Tel Aviv this morning. Robert, do we have reason to believe Iran?
It seems so, because now, just in with the last couple of minutes, we heard from the president as well, confirming the same here, that the Strait of Hormuz is open. And I mean, I think, as you pointed out, there's no better barometer to all of this than the price of oil, which is in a free fall right now. So, I mean, there is certainly market optimism and optimism within the international community here. I mean, this has been a fast moving, call it 16 hours or so, because we just had the ceasefire go into effect between Israel and Lebanon at midnight local time here, and there was shooting going both ways up until the buzzer sounded. And now it's been a calm day here in Israel. And now this news comes down about the Strait of Hormuz being opened. For now, the U.S. naval blockade is still in effect, and we'll see if that changes at all. But, I mean, if you listen to what the president said, I mean, he thought that, I mean, the ceasefire is supposed to end in 5 days, might not need to extend it because this could all, come to fruition rather quickly here. I mean, if that does happen, it would be in lockstep with the pace that we're currently going at right now, because things are moving quickly.
Yes, the president 12 minutes ago just posted on Truth Social, Iran has just announced the Strait of Iran is, he called it the Strait of Iran, in his words, is fully open, ready for full passage. Thank you. So he's saying that we have markets reacting positively. Any indication what kind of deal might be struck here?
I mean, the big thing is, I mean, if you really listen closely to the mediators coming out of those conversations, it seems as though that there was actually a lot of agreement between Washington and Iran on issues, call it B, C, D, and E. It's issue A, the nuclear ambitions, which is where those gaps remained. So, I mean, that's what's going to have to happen here. And to, peel back the curtain a little bit on what's going on inside of Iran, there is an issue when it comes to their negotiating ability, is that there is no clear leader in Iran right now. The supreme leader was eliminated. The new supreme leader is out of the public eye. So you have a mix of hardliners and the pragmatic type. And that cobbling together needs to make decisions for the future of Iran. So whoever Iran sends for the next round of negotiations is going to have the authority to speak on behalf on both sides of the coin there. I think that's going to be the other element here, because, I mean, there are the hardliners in Iran who say, go until the very end, resist the West at all cost. And then there are those who are more pragmatic who say there is opportunity to strike a parlay here.
When it comes to the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah, what is Israel asking?
Well, so there's a bit of nuance here. The ceasefire is technically on paper between Israel and Lebanon. It is supposed to include Hezbollah, but that is the big X factor here, because historically speaking, the Lebanese government has had a difficult time keeping Hezbollah in line. So that is going to be a big part of this. There are two major things. One, Israel wants a sustainable, lasting peace with Lebanon. We're expecting that the president of Lebanon and the prime minister of Israel are going to go to the White House in the next few days. That is going to be history. Don't let anybody tell you anything else. That is history, considering how deeply rooted the tensions are between both of these countries when those negotiations take place, assuming that they do. Then the other element is disarming and disabling Hezbollah's ability to threaten northern Israel. That's the more tricky element here. It's going to take effort from the Lebanese government. It may take effort from the international community. But you already heard Israel give acknowledgement that their beef is not with Lebanon. Their beef is with Hezbollah, and for the way that they entered this war just a couple of days after the war with Iran started. That is going to be the end-all, be-all here of finding a way to keep Hezbollah in line. That's the only way a deal is going to come together.
What are experts telling you the likelihood of that is?
Well, I mean, it depends on if the Lebanese government is able to exercise might, in the southern suburbs of Lebanon and in southern Lebanon itself. Lebanon's government has spoken as if they have the ability to do this. It all remains to be seen. I would emphasize that, the world works differently out here than it does in the United States. Hezbollah operates independently of the Lebanese government, but they have political power and political authority in Lebanon, and they have all the military might. I mean, they've got a massive arsenal of missiles. I mean, my hunch is, and from what everyone else is saying, is that, this is going to be the tough part, and it may take some help from the international community to come in. To what extent, don't know. But, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to disarm Hezbollah, or at the very least, keep them in line.
All right, Robert, keep us posted. Thank you so much. News Nation correspondent Robert Sherman with us from Tel Aviv.
Time to get a check on traffic on the threes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
Got a little fender bender now on the right-hand side of the freeway of southbound 405, just south of Canyon Park, about halfway down the hill towards 195th. That's one of the reasons why we're a little slow there. But back to yellow on the map other than red, which is great. So we're under 40 minutes from Everett down into Bellevue. Under 40 as well, probably closer to 35 from Everett down into Seattle. So that's a very good number. Northbound 405, the Renton S-curve starting to heat up just a little bit, but at a 20-minute drive or less, focusing on less to get you into Bellevue is pretty good. Behind that, the Valley Freeway, under 40 as well. Olympia to Tacoma, all the way up to about the West Seattle Bridge, you're not going to touch the brakes. Freeway speed for you guys the entire way there. Just a little hesitation by the West Seattle Bridge. So you got about 30 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma, and then 35 Federal Way to Seattle. Lake bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by Carpet Liquidators. Get your entire home installed for just $99 at Carpet Liquidators. From carpet to flooring, Carpet Liquidators has got you covered.
Forecast calls for some nice weather the next few days. If sunshine is your thing, we are looking for highs in the upper 50s, so right around 60 today. Mid 60s to upper 60s Saturday and Sunday. Manda says it's going to be 70 on
Just
Sunday.
go for it. Why not?
Okay. Monday, that is the forecast high of 70. Right now in Seattle, we have cloudy skies. It's 44.
And coming up next, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey has the latest on the lawsuit being filed over our state's new sheriff oversight law. He'll get the details on that, and we'll also get to your opening bell report here on Seattle's Morning News.
Well, if you're in a rush this morning and you're having one of those mornings where everything is scattered, you can't find what you need, the pantry is overflowing, your garage, well, you got to climb over stuff to get to the car. You're not doing anything wrong. Most homes just weren't set up to work the way we actually live. A word here for Closets by Design. And they don't do just closets. They help organize your garage. They have pantries you can actually use, laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, mud rooms, entertainment center, everything. And here's the key. It's all custom built in Kent. Nothing off a shelf. Nothing is pre-made. It is designed for your home, your routines. And when things are designed right, your day just goes better. Less clutter, less frustration. And right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly it's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either, because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself and Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Get out in the sun, get your hands in the soil. A little gardening goes a long way. Hi, I'm Sarah from Sky Nursery in Shoreline. April is a great time to grow your connection to nature. Whether it's native fir trees in your backyard, a thriving patch of flowers, or a walk through your local arboretum. Whatever your adventure, there is something beautiful to discover. Our purpose at Sky Nursery is to support you on your gardening journey with quality plants, supplies, and local knowledge. Celebrate Earth Day, Arbor Day, and Native Plant Month with Sky Nursery. Garden tips and info at skynursery.com.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener, like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
511 is now part of Seattle, and they're celebrating at South Center Mall this Saturday, April 18th. 511 makes purpose-built gear, including pants, shirts, bags, and more, built to handle whatever your day throws at you. Come see it for yourself. Meet pro rider Carrie Hart and enter to win a trip to Salt Lake Supercross, including 2 tickets and $2,000 in cash. Join them from 10 to 6, one day only, Saturday, April 18th at South Center.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:31.
Seattle influencer says she was attacked in the middle of the day on a trail near Olympic Sculpture Park in Belltown, and her post warning others is going viral. Here's KIRO News Radio's John Rapp.
I really hate that. I feel scared right now.
Alyssa Montez is a social media influencer with more than 86,000 Instagram followers. She says this happened Wednesday morning
at Sculpture Park across from Pocket Beach on the running/bike trail
when a man came out of the bushes and grabbed her while she was on her daily run. She says she had her phone and recorded a brief clip of her attacker as he fled. She also reported the attack to police. Her post warning others to be safe, carry pepper spray, and stay vigilant is taking off, garnering more than 23,000 likes and more than 1,000 comments. John Rapp, KIRO News Radio.
A legal challenge to a new Washington law affecting sheriffs is now headed to a different courtroom.
The case centers on a new state law that allows a state board to kick sheriffs out of office, even if they were elected by the people.
We get the update this morning live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, opponents and the sheriffs who are now suing the state would say this law allows the state to pick favorites to kind of become the gatekeepers for who gets to be sheriff and who doesn't. They claim the state is making sheriffs take a loyalty oath and follow the rules set by a state board, not the people who elected them, because they have to meet new standards in order to be sheriff. And the lawyer for those sheriffs suing, Mark Lamb, argued in Superior Court that it also denies sheriffs the ability to speak their mind and exercise their freedom of speech.
The issue here, Your Honor, is that you have a significant issue of constitutional import. We're talking about the gravest possible consequence under the First Amendment, where time is of the essence in this situation, that the abridgment of a First Amendment right, even for minimal periods of time, unquestionably constitutes an irreparable injury.
The Solicitor General, Noah Purcell, argues sheriffs and sheriff candidates all swear under penalty of perjury anyway that they meet certification standards set by the Criminal Justice Training Commission. Therefore,
all of the plaintiff sheriffs are currently certified by the Criminal Justice Training Commission. They are currently certified under the exact standard that they're saying they can't possibly comply with. So the idea that somehow in the next 2 weeks, something's going to change that will render them unable to comply with that law just doesn't pass the smell test. It just doesn't make any sense.
So those are the arguments. This is far from over there. During the hearing, the judge did grant the state's request to move the case. The case now shifts to Thurston County, where a key hearing is already set for May 1st.
Luke, thank you. Heads up, you might want to think about a detour if you're heading south on I-5 through Fife this weekend. State Department of Transportation says southbound lanes from 54th Avenue to Port of Tacoma Road shut down tonight and tomorrow night. Ramps from 54th to southbound I-5 will also be closed. They're installing a new electronic sign. Work starts at 11 each night, wraps up by early morning. Plan on the road reopening by 7:30 tomorrow and 8:30 Sunday morning.
Let's find out what's happening on the roads right now. It's 6:33, and Chris Sullivan has our traffic.
A whole lot of nothing. Which
Good.
is great.
We like it that way.
Yeah, that's the way we like it on Friday. Just some little blips here and there, yellow on the map. If you're on southbound 405, one of those places, south of Canyon Park, we have a fender bender with a couple different cars over on the right shoulder, about halfway down the hill to 195th, but really not causing that big of a deal. 35 minutes from Everett into Bellevue, 35 as well from Everett into Seattle. Really not even seeing the braking past Northgate as of yet. Northbound I-5, slight hesitation past the West Seattle Bridge, but if you've got a 35-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle, that's in the win column. Same with 35 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue's under 20. Lake Bridges still quiet. Olympia to Tacoma, half an hour, and really nothing yet on 18 or 16 as you make your way around. So all in all, we're in a good spot. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners Randy Johnson Retirement Ceremony Night, presented by T-Mobile. Saturday, May 2nd. Get your tickets, mariners.com.
Forecast looks like a nice weekend on tap. Today, we're going to be in the upper 50s, partly to mostly sunny. Tomorrow, we will be in the upper 60s, touching 70 by Sunday. Right now in Seattle, we have partly cloudy skies, and it's 44.
6:35 now, and that's time for our opening bell report. Stocks are going way higher this morning after word of the Strait of Hormuz opening. The Dow is up 668 points right now at 49,246. S&P 500 up 53. The Nasdaq up about 222 points, and oil is dropping rapidly, more than 10%.
All right, President Trump is out west this morning with his first stop in Las Vegas to play up workers there, benefiting from no taxes on tips, probably the Republicans' major proposal last year. But the conflict with Iran is sending gas prices much higher for over a month. The benefits may be getting lost. CBS News' Caitlin Huey-Burns has more.
He downplayed rising gas prices.
They're not very high if you look at what they were supposed to be in order to get rid of a nuclear weapon with the danger that entails.
Gas prices have risen more than $1 since the war started nearly 7 weeks ago. And as Americans file their taxes this week, the president is touting the gains from his tax policies. But rising gas and food prices threaten to wipe out those savings.
We save a little bit of money on taxes, but we're paying so much more for groceries and for gas.
As I mentioned, oil prices are plummeting now. We asked News Nation's Robert Sherman about it.
To all of this and the price of oil, which is in a free fall right now. So, I mean, there is certainly market optimism and optimism within the international community here. I mean, this has been a fast moving, call it 16 hours or so, because we just had the ceasefire go into effect between Israel and Lebanon at midnight local time here, and there was shooting going both ways up until the buzzer sounded. And now it's been a calm day here in Israel. And now this news comes down about the Strait of Hormuz being opened. For now, the U.S. naval blockade is still in effect, and we'll see if that changes at all. But, I mean, if you listen to what the president said, I mean, he thought that, the ceasefire is supposed to end in 5 days, might not need to extend it because this could all, come to fruition rather quickly here. I mean, if that does happen, it would be in lockstep with the pace that we're currently going at right now, because things are moving quickly.
News Nation's Robert Sherman.
Businesses can start requesting refunds from President Trump's Liberation Day tariffs next week.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection will launch a portal to process the refund requests on April 20th, though legal experts say the reimbursements may not come right away. The U.S. Supreme Court struck down the president's tariffs earlier this year. The federal government could owe businesses up to $175 billion.
That's CBS's Jesse Mitchell reporting.
Well, he is an unlikely internet mini celebrity. A 90-year-old receipt checker at the Costco in Covington, known for never cracking a smile. The Seattle Times reports Lee Waters retires tomorrow, but he has more than 15,000 fans on a Facebook group dedicated to him that launched in 2020. Waters says he adopted the grim-faced persona, his words here, to look like a badass. But he says he's had a ball and he'll miss his customers and coworkers.
I go to that Covington Costco quite
really?
a bit. And
so you know him?
Oh, yeah. People just flock toward him. They get their pictures taken with him. And the rule is when you get your picture taken with Lee, you are not allowed to smile. If he sees you smiling, he's not going to do the picture.
I don't know if I could do that.
It's a big Facebook group. People love Lee.
What
so
a hoot. Well,
congrats
on his retirement. You bet.
It's 6:38. Well, news here of hundreds of thousands of portable power banks being recalled. Nearly 430,000 KC wireless portable power banks have been recalled because they can overheat and catch fire. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says there have been 51 reports of power banks overheating. They had an initial recall last year with at least 6 burn injuries. One elderly woman died from her injuries after her power bank exploded while charging her phone on her lap. There was another incident of a power bank exploding on an airplane.
2 years after a failed merger with JetBlue, there is speculation Spirit Airlines, the carrier with the bright yellow jets, could be going under within days. The conflict with Iran has significantly raised the price of fuel for its fleet, and the carrier is running out of runway.
If its creditors should force a liquidation, it could mean Spirit would halt operations with little notice. CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg.
I would definitely have a backup plan ready. Here's what I would do. Buy a refundable ticket on a competing carrier on the same route. That way, if your Spirit flight goes okay, just refund the ticket. If your Spirit flight doesn't, you won't be worried about getting a seat home. You'll already have one.
Spirit declined to address the reports of a possible imminent liquidation, saying it does not comment on market rumors.
That's CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
And a word here for KIRO 7. Start your day with solutions, not problems. KIRO 7 pinpoint weather and real-time traffic every 10 minutes, from downpours to backups, whatever is waiting for you when you head out the door. KIRO 7 News in the morning will get you prepared. Stay up to the minute every 10 minutes. Watch KIRO 7 News in the morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m.
6:40. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the Friday light conditions, travel times all around. Just a little blip coming down out of Canyon Park, so we'll start there next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A muumuu is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
Thinking about starting weight loss treatment? GoodRx is here to help. We offer FDA-approved GLP-1 medications prescribed by licensed providers, including the Wegovy tablet, with straightforward pricing and pickup at your local pharmacy or delivery to your door. All from America's #1 prescription app. Go to GoodRx.com/weight-loss to get started. GoodRx is not insurance. Cancel anytime. #1 prescription app ranked by a third-party study.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Get down with Casey and the Sunshine Band when they take the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Sunday, May 17th at 8 p.m. The iconic 70s group has toured around the world, and now they're bringing their blend of funk, disco, and R&B to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on May 17th. Get tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
It's 6:43. We check traffic on the 3s with Sully.
And we're looking at a really good drive across the board.
Were you just grooving to your bed music?
Casey and the Sunshine Band?
No,
okay. Nick brought us a little mix out of Casey and the Sunshine Band right into our traffic bed.
Because you were kind of syncing to the traffic bed itself.
Get down tonight. Get down tonight.
They do kind of have the same tempo, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Anywho, what's happening on the roads?
I don't know. Now I'm just thinking of all my favorite Casey and the Sunshine Band songs, because there are actually surprisingly a lot of them. Looking at the southbound 405 drive, we have some brake lights just south of Canyon Park. Had a little fender bender, a couple of cars over on the right-hand shoulder, but nothing super significant. 35 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, and about 35 as well from Everett to Seattle. Even through the forced merge in Northgate, we're doing really well. We have picked up a little bit more action right in the middle of the Renton S-curves through all the weaving and merging there from people coming on at the Maple Valley Highway or Sunset. Give yourself about 17 minutes, though, to get up into Bellevue, which, again, is a fabulous number. There is a little braking through, of course, the ramp meters there as you go from northbound 167 to northbound 405. But overall, the Valley Freeway is quiet today, 35 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma, all the way up through Federal Way and really to the West Seattle Bridge. That I-5 northbound corridor is in great shape. It's 35 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, 30 from Olympia to Tacoma, and nothing in Tacoma itself. Across the lake, we're still doing really well. So all in all, we are in a very good spot. This report brought to you by D.R. Horton. D.R. Horton has new homes and communities across Puget Sound and Central Washington ready for you. Visit drhorton.com, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
It is impossible to be in a bad mood today because it's going to be lovely and it's Friday. We're looking for a high of 58, a mix of clouds and sun. And the weekend looks terrific too. Partly cloudy for Saturday and Sunday. Plenty of sunshine. We'll be pushing 70 by Sunday. Officially, we're looking for 70 on Monday. Right now in Seattle, cloudy and 44.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with our new weekly segment, The Fan of the Week. Luke heads down to T-Mobile Park to talk to some of the best fans in the world. That's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
Some people out there love to do things entirely on their own. Others ask for help and trust their resources. When involved in an auto accident, you've got the choice of dealing with insurance on your own or hiring an attorney. I'm joined in studio by Harold D. Carr. He represents Harold Carr Law Offices. Harold, what's one of the main reasons for seeking representation?
If you were to look at statistics, most people end up with a lot less recovery when they don't have a law firm representing them.
And why should they hire Harold Carr Law Offices?
We're not shy about bringing lawsuits. We do try to settle, and insurance companies know that. They know that we're fair in how we talk to them. And the answer is really, we are very professional. But we've had cases, big and small, where we've had to take it into litigation, and about 98% of those will settle in mediation. A lot more than the client originally expected.
Visit carlaw.com. That's carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call Carr.
What is it, boy? Someone need help? Someone in trouble? Oh, okay. So you just want me to get Progressive Auto Insurance because their collision coverage covers up to $1,000 in vet bills if you're injured in an accident? That's it? Okay, calm down. Let's not resort to name calling.
Progressive's collision coverage helps pay for care for your pet when they're in the car during an accident.
No, you're right. Sorry, I shouldn't have said calm down.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage included with purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Well, the Mariners struggled down in San Diego this week.
There's an understatement.
Bad Vetter Cup vibes. But the team returns home today to take on the Rangers. They'll be playing, as always, in some of the best fans in the world at T-Mobile Park.
And KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey spoke to some of those fans in our new weekly segment, Fan of the Week. Here's Luke.
If you want to find the true to the blue diehard Seattle Mariners fans, just head to T-Mobile Park for a day game on a Monday. Everything else feels the same. The food still hits. And the beer, well, it's still cold if you want one. The crowd has thinned out a bit, and there are a few more empty seats here and there. And it's a little quieter until Josh Naylor takes command with his second home run of the game.
Swung on, lasered, center field. Has he done it again? Yes, he has! It's in the seats!
And the M's sweep a 4-game series against the Astros. But look a little closer and you'll find fans like Chris and Kayla. Chris absolutely loves the Mariners.
Oh, yeah.
The tattoos on the right shoulder and the left forearm, that beard, and a little stain on the jersey from the third inning. Chris is a lifelong fan who's been going to games since the Kingdom days.
Well, I've always come to the Mariners games ever since I was a kid with my family.
And Kayla? More of a Seahawks fan at first. You can tell by the action green hair, but she kind of married into Mariners fandom, and now, well, there's no turning back.
And I'm here for the atmosphere of everybody collecting together.
I caught the two of them during the 7th inning stretch.
Let's stretch.
After we all sang, it was time for the speed round. What is your favorite Mariners moment?
To tell you the honest truth, when Randy Johnson blew apart the pigeon.
No, that's terrible. It's aggressive. That's a little aggressive.
Who is your favorite Mariner?
I've always preferred Griffey and Randy Johnson myself, but
good choices. What is your go-to ballpark food?
Hot dogs.
Yeah, gotta be a hot dog.
Ketchup or mustard?
Both.
What's your favorite M's uniform?
For me, it's always been the white and blue.
What's the one team you cannot stand?
Right now, the Astros.
And some bonus questions to make up for the big unit and that poor bird. Oh, and he was also with the Diamondbacks at the time. Sorry, Chris. Real grass or AstroTurf?
Personally would do natural grass just because I'm a landscaper, but I mean...
Us simpletons need to keep it simple.
AstroTurf makes more sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Baseball cap, forward or backwards?
Forward.
And finally was the unveiling of Ichiro's statue, the break the Mariners needed.
Yes. I 100% think it's exactly the momentum we needed.
Mariners won the game 6-2 against the Astros. Chris and Kayla are our fans of the week. Luke Ducey, KIRO Newsradio.
Okay, if you weren't watching on the YouTube feed, you need to go hunt this down. It was very cute.
That is so great. Luke is out there and he's among the people.
It's going to be fun.
This is a fun new feature. I like it. We'll have that every Friday. Is that right, David? Okay. Well, it is 6:51 now, and high winds are messing with one of the country's most profitable music festivals.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad for an angel.
Last weekend, fans at Coachella were disappointed when high winds kicked up in Indio, California, creating a dust storm. A set by DJ Anima had to be canceled. The artist explained the gusty conditions made it impossible to build a stage and perform safely. Researchers say the windstorms are only the beginning. A study found damage from wind and dust erosion cost the U.S. about $154 billion in 1 year alone. There are also concerns about rising cases of valley fever, life-threatening respiratory infections. The newly nicknamed Dustchella continues this weekend. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
I know what you thought you heard. It is Anima.
Yes.
A-N-Y-M-A.
There you
Anima.
go.
You didn't hear anything else.
Thank you for the clarification. The Artemis II astronauts say their historic flyby of the moon puts NASA in a better position to land on Luna in just 2 years. Here's CBS News correspondent Allison Keyes.
Astronaut Jeremy Hansen says the mission and getting to see the side of the moon that no one has seen with their own eyes gives you a very powerful feeling as a human being, but
we're all kind of struck by these things that make us feel small.
After traveling more than 252,000 miles from Earth, a record for human spaceflight, astronaut Christina Cook says,
every time I've been waking up or in the first few days, I thought I was floating.
Allison Keyes, CBS News.
NASA is hoping to set up a moon base eventually.
Tomorrow's National Record Store Day, and CBS News correspondent Jared Hill has more on the trend that's still spinning.
Vinyl's rebirth has been buoyed by newer artists like Taylor Swift, dropping multiple colored variants of the same album, sending fans flocking, but raising questions about sustainability.
The industry's making a lot of records. It creates a lot of excess waste.
Matt Slifkin works for record manufacturer Independent Record Pressing. Over the past year, he says they've seen a huge increase in interest from artists like Paramore's Hayley Williams to press new records from the rainbow-colored leftovers of old ones. It's called EcoMix.
It helps answer environmental concerns because it's already made. It's already at the facility.
Recording industries say Americans are buying almost half of the records globally, but streaming's still number one.
6:53 now. That's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. What's up, Sully?
Well, I'm not putting any hot water in anything as we drive our way around the sound today. We're looking really good. Not sure what that meant.
What does that mean?
You don't even need to know. Think about
moving on.
2 minutes ago.
Moving on.
Southbound at 405, we have some brake lights as we work our way.
Gosh, Sully.
See your what? You got to get you on. You got to get your brain moving faster. It's Friday. Let's go.
That's like gutter stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome to Sully's Mind.
Hello. Welcome to my brain on a Friday.
How's the traffic?
Good. We're looking really good. We've got southbound 405, a little bit of action right there south of Canyon Park. Little fender bender. A couple cars got tangled up, but they're off to the right shoulder. 35 minutes to get you to Bellevue. 35 or less from Everett to Seattle. Really nothing yet past the Forest Merge and Northgate. So we're having a pretty good day there. Valley Freeway, we're doing okay as well. Just the slightest bit there in Auburn. Overall, we've got Puyallup to Renton at 38 minutes, and then Renton to Bellevue's under 20. There are brake lights in the S-curves, but you're going about 45 miles an hour. So under the speed limit, but you're moving. Northbound I-5, heavy brake lights haven't really materialized yet past the West Seattle Bridge. All in all, 35 minutes Federal Way to Seattle and nothing in Pierce County. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App where you can listen to your favorite shows, get the latest news and updates sent right to your phone.
Nice weekend on tap. A high of 58 today in Seattle. Partly cloudy today and tomorrow. 67 our high Saturday. And on Sunday, 69. Monday, 70, the forecast high.
Coming up, a UW study claims meth use is up in the Seattle area. Our Luke Ducey will dive into some of that data.
Stay right here. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute, non non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendinitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's right, their body's own stem cells.
So whether it's a hip like me, an elbow, shoulder, or knee...
Don't forget ankles, wrists, and thumbs.
Yep, those patients too. Before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD first. Learn more at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Advanced Hair Restoration, the simple one-day hair loss solution that's guaranteed to regrow your own natural hair. AdvancedHair.com. AdvancedHair.com.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at Cars4Kids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about artificial intelligence.
I cannot answer that.
Many professions are using it, and allegedly some are even being taken over by it. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know police are leveraging AI, whether it's analyzing body cam footage, reading license plates, or even facial recognition. AI has become a helpful tool, enabling officers to work more efficiently. And efficiency for them means more people getting pulled over. You can't chat GPT your way out of a high BAC. Getting legal advice from AI is no substitute for an attorney. Use AI correctly, or it can result in trouble, like a self-driving car taking you home from a bar.
You have reached your destination.
So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. If you get pulled over for DUI, the only thing you need your smart device to do is call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Clutter happens. Let Closets by Design save the day. For a limited time, get 40% off plus 15% more and 18-month 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Stocks are up, oil prices down about an hour after Iran announced the Strait of Hormuz had been fully reopened to commercial shipping traffic. Correspondent Charlie D'Agata reports from Tel Aviv.
This comes from the Foreign Minister, Syed Abbas Araghchi. Pardon me while I read this off. In line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. This is a 10-day ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon.
President Trump immediately welcomed the news, but he says a U.S. naval blockade will remain in full force for Iran only until what he calls our transaction with Iran is 100% complete. Oil prices have tumbled about 10%. The average price for a gallon of gas in the U.S., 408 today. Madison Mills at Axios.
The oil traders who I talked to tell me that it's going to take a little bit longer for any substantial drop in commodities prices to really hit Americans at the pump. This comes as people have already been struggling with one of the fastest periods of inflation in American history.
The Dow is up 745 points. On the heels of that truce with Lebanon, the Israeli army says it is lifting all wartime restrictions. Ruthie Shine lives in northern Israel.
I was really pleased because we are fed up. We are fed up with the situation of being at home, of being locked at home, of not being able to go on with our lives.
People have been returning to their homes in southern Lebanon. A year into President Trump's mass deportation campaign, acting ICE Director Todd Lyons says he'll step down. CBS's Michael Toscano.
Two officials familiar with his plan told CBS News Lyons, who helped shape and implement President Trump's mass deportation operations, will depart for the private sector. In a statement to CBS News, the new DHS Secretary, Mark Wayne Mullen, said May 31st will be his last official day.
A musician is in custody in California in the murder of a teenaged girl. Correspondent Matt Gutman from L.A.
A tense scene in the Hollywood Hills on Thursday night. Video obtained by TMZ shows heavily armed officers arresting the singer David, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, on suspicion of murdering 14-year-old Celeste Rivas. Rivas first disappeared from her home southeast of Los Angeles in April of 2024. Last September, police discovered a gruesome scene, her decomposed and dismembered remains inside David's Tesla.
Pope Leo arrived in Cameroon today. He celebrated an open-air mass in front of about 120,000 young people in the main port city of Douala. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
It's 7:03 Friday morning. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we're rolling through this Friday morning, doing really well. We've got Friday light across the board. Just some little hiccups of hesitation here and there, a little yellow. Like if you're on northbound I-5, you're going to hit the brakes just a little bit as you come down the hill towards South Center. But again, that's just a little bit of volume with the weaving and merging we get from like 200 to 188. But after that, it's not bad. I mean, a little bit past the West Seattle Bridge, but if you're running 36, 37 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, you're having a good day. And behind that, Olympia to Tacoma is only a half an hour. All of Pierce County is quiet. The Valley Freeway really doesn't even have much at Auburn or at the north end. 35 minutes on the trip there. You are going to sit in the ramp meter lane there for a little bit, getting up to 405 northbound, but then you're going to have a pretty good drive of under 20 minutes to get you to Bellevue. Across the lake, no problems. And coming down from the north end, you're free and easy all the way from Arlington, really down into Seattle or into Bellevue. It's under 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, probably closer to 35. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. New data from the University of Washington shows injection drug use across the region may be falling sharply, down nearly 50%.
Researchers also say methamphetamine is now surpassing fentanyl as the drug most commonly used on the streets, and argue that stable housing more than sobriety should be the focus.
But those findings don't tell the whole story. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more.
Yeah, Charlie and Manda, I was on my way to work this morning, and I talked with a guy named Ryan who lives on the streets. He was sitting on the sidewalk with his dog plugged into an outlet on the outside of a building charging his electronic devices. Well, he agrees that housing would help for a lot of reasons, because he described how dangerous it is for him out on the streets.
Like I actually had my PlayStation 5 stolen from me, my backpack stolen from me. They came up and they just like totally robbed me. It was like right on 5th and Union. And I wasn't strong enough to get it back from them, and I wasn't able to get it back from them, and they took it all from me. I called the police.
You know, when it comes to housing, especially for the homeless, the city of Seattle's policy seems to align with the findings from UW's School of Public Health. Just this past Monday, City Council unanimously passed 2 ordinances to cut the red tape to fund more shelter space for the homeless and add $4.8 million to help fund housing and wraparound care as well, like drug treatment programs. But when it comes to drug of choice from the survey, UW says injection drug use has dropped from 93% to 44% since 2021, and there's far more meth use than fentanyl. So I asked Ryan.
I'd say there's more fentanyl than there's meth. I mean, I've had to save like five people just this month with Narcan, and I don't even do it. I don't even do this stuff.
Just opposite of what the study of the survey says. And then he told me like he needed to prove his point where specifically anyone can get fentanyl.
Everybody has it everywhere. It's everywhere. And like literally you go on the third Street or 12th and Jackson or any of the needle exchanges. There's tons of people that have it, and they just hang out there, and it's like you can't even walk by there without somebody asking you. And any of the Plymouth buildings, it's everywhere.
Also consider this. Injection drug use is down, according to the survey, 49%. The city of Seattle said it recently cleaned up 661,000 needles from parks and other areas. When I walked up to Ryan, he immediately started apologizing to me and started collecting his things. And I told him, no, I'm a reporter. I just want to chat with you. He was more relaxed at that point, but it was pretty obvious, how he is treated, perhaps. And he's used to being kicked out of areas, and he was ready to move on. But interesting what he said, kind of flies in the face of what the survey says.
And anecdotally, as I've been going through these camps, what you're seeing a lot of is people who are using both. So both fentanyl and meth. And maybe that's the difference. You're not seeing quite as many needles. I've had multiple people tell me that, but it's still the opiate, right? They're just going to fentanyl instead of heroin.
Yeah, still using, yeah.
Yeah, a big problem in this city. Thank you. It's 7:07.
It was Wednesday. The city of Seattle swept a homeless encampment in West Seattle's Rotary Viewpoint Park, right next to the West Seattle Golf Course. Well, KIRO News Radio's James Lynch went back yesterday afternoon to see where things stood.
Beneath the totem pole in the center of the park, more than a dozen people have returned, many of them doing drugs out in the open. 2 tents have been re-erected, and neighbors are frustrated with how little has changed.
Them doing the sweep is obviously understandable, but I think there needs to be kind of a follow-up that doesn't allow that to be a habit of them needing to sweep them from the area.
Most of those we talk to are sympathetic, but they acknowledge it's a complex problem with no easy solution. In West Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Police say an escapee from Western State Hospital is back in custody. Lakewood Police Sergeant Charles Porsche says SeaTac police arrested Joshua Rice for trespassing on Sunday, but they didn't find out until Thursday he'd been caught.
No one else here in the building really seemed to know how that came to be until we started doing a little bit of our own detective work and figured it out.
Rice walked away from Western State on March 31st while being held for a court review tied to a Clark County robbery case.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
That was a premature jump, producer David.
The song itself just makes me want to jump. Something about it makes me want to jump.
And maybe because it's Friday. It's April 17th. Glad to have you with us.
That's Manda Factor. I'm Charlie Harger. Sully, of course, banging his head. Does Van Halen count as rock and roll to you, Sully?
Come on, man. Seriously?
I think that's a yes.
You mentioned earlier this
opinion,
week.
Halen 2 better than 1.
Okay.
Just, Diver Down, surprisingly good.
Okay. But the time it came out, though, I don't know if it is rock and roll.
No,
right?
well, no. By that time, that was high school. That was rock and roll because that was more standard.
I'm just
And besides,
mocking you
they started
over
in the 70s as well.
Yeah, no, Sully, if you missed it earlier this week, was contesting that anything made beyond 1985 is rock and roll.
And this was sparked by the Rock Hall.
Well, again, when Billy Idol came out, he wasn't, rock and roll. He was like an alternative to rock and roll.
We've already had this argument.
He belongs in there now, in hindsight, but at the time, things were different.
Amanda is done with your shenanigans, Sully.
My shenanigans were the same at the 80s, by the way. Just, I haven't matured at all.
Coming up this hour of the show, we check in with CBS White House correspondent Natalie Brand, especially these developments in the past hour or so. Iran saying the Strait of Hormuz is open. We'll talk with her about that coming up.
And what's coming up in the commentary?
Well, Seattle has released its Clean Cities report, and it's painting a disturbing picture about the city's drug crisis. We'll talk about it at 7:35.
It's now 7:10. Bothell police say they are actively investigating suspected human trafficking and prostitution after 5 massage parlors were shut down earlier this week for fire code violations. We get more from KIRO 7's Jack Bilyeu.
It is an ongoing investigation. It's somewhat complex, so we're going to follow every lead that we can.
The Bothell Police Department's captain of investigations told KIRO 7 he couldn't discuss many specifics of the case, but said there were multiple arrests, multiple potential trafficking victims found, and charges incoming.
We don't want to tip our hand on any of that stuff yet.
He says the notices from the fire department are mostly for electrical work to convert parts of the building into residences.
A tense exchange between Democratic Representative Susan Del Bene of Washington State and Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. over a pilot program that uses AI to evaluate Medicare claims. She says is actively hurting patients in Washington State by denying them legitimate care, and told RFK she sent a letter outlining the issue.
I still have not gotten a response. That was last August. Can you publicly commit to responding to that letter and addressing the concerns of this harmful model?
Yeah, absolutely we will. And I apologize for not getting back to you sooner.
Del Bene wants to halt the program, which is active in 6 states, including here in Washington.
Cruise season is returning to Seattle today. And the Port of Seattle expects record numbers this year with 16 different ships and more than 2 million passengers, according to KIRO 7's Brooke Griffin.
They tell us with this many cruise ships docking in Seattle, their new shore power initiative is essential to keeping emissions down. The Port of Seattle is one of the first in the world to provide a full plug-in to the city grid. That way, ships don't have to idle on diesel while they're here.
The shore power system sort of looks like a giant plug that you would plug into an appliance at home. The difference is that plug carries enough power to power a small city, a city the size of Edmonds.
And this year, Port of Seattle officials say cruise passengers will generate $1.2 billion in revenue for the city.
Oh, it's going to be a beautiful day to kick off the season, too. Those ships will make more than 300 sailings to Alaska between now and October.
Yeah, taking a look at that forecast, we expect partly cloudy skies today, 58 for our high today. Tomorrow we warm up to 67, perfect for an afternoon Mariners game. On Sunday, it'll be 69, maybe a few more clouds than on Saturday, but not bad overall. 70, the forecast high for Monday. 44 right now in downtown Seattle.
And at 7:13, it's time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes for you. Here's Chris Sullivan.
It's about as Friday light as it can be out there, which is fabulous. Just some brake lights here and there, just some very limited ones. Like if you're on northbound 405, right at the beginnings of the S-curve, curves up to about maybe 30th, but a 20-minute trip or less to make the drive to Bellevue. That is a very good day. And behind that, the Valley Freeway is all green, looking really good. There's a little bit of slowing on southbound I-5 approaching the South Center area at 405, 518, but overall, Federal Way to Seattle is only 36 minutes. Even past the West Seattle Bridge, it's lighter than you might expect. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. Pierce County overall is looking really good. 18 all the way from Auburn to I-90, no issues for you guys. The Lake Bridges are quiet, and coming down from the north end, really not much at all. 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Those are W's. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Considering a new Lennox cooling system before the summer heat wave? We can get a price estimate on your phone in 60 seconds from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Well, new this morning, Iran says the Strait of Hormuz is now completely open.
And the president claims the war with Iran is very close to being over. Let's bring in CBS White House correspondent Natalie Brandt. Natalie, good morning. What do we know about the strait being open at this point?
Yeah, well, this is the big breaking news development this morning announced by Iran, saying it's the result of this, newly negotiated ceasefire in Lebanon, this 10-day truce there. But what is important to note is Iran is still saying that ships have to follow the coordinated route with Iranian authorities. There's still concerns about, potential mines in the water and other issues in the strait. So I think that we can expect that it's still going to take a while for traffic through the strait to get back to pre-conflict levels. And there's a lot that remains to be seen with these larger negotiations between Iran and the U.S., but this is certainly a step in the right direction. The president responding to this saying that, this is a good move, but that the U.S. blockade on Iranian ports and ships that are providing suspected support for Iran is going to remain in full force until a deal is reached.
What do we know about the status of those peace negotiations?
We still don't have an exact date on the books, but, the president speaking to reporters yesterday, said that it could be happening as early as this weekend. And, we know that the Israeli strikes on Iran-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon was continued to be a key demand for Iranian negotiators, that a ceasefire had to be in place there as kind of a precondition. Now that that's been reached, could that, provide further momentum to keep things going, well with these larger negotiations? That's what we're watching. The president continues to strike a very optimistic tone about how things are going. Yesterday, speaking in Las Vegas, he said, quote, "The war in Iran is going along, quote, swimmingly, and it should be ending soon." Of course, we've heard similar things before, but again, he has been sounding increasingly optimistic that a deal could be reached. But we know the big sticking point remains the issue of uranium enrichment, Iran's nuclear ambitions that continued to be a sticking point during last weekend's talks. So that's the question here. Can the two sides come up with some sort of an agreement on that issue, which has really dogged past negotiations?
Natalie, what can you tell us about this $20 billion cash for uranium deal that the U.S. is considering?
Well, there was reports that, are you referring to the 20-year? There's reports last week that U.S. diplomats had offered a potential 20-year moratorium on uranium enrichment. And, the president later asked about that, said that he doesn't like 20 years, that his position remains no nuclear at all, no uranium enrichment, and that includes the U.S. wanting to remove, any enriched uranium that remains in Iran now. So it seems like, CBS News did confirm that idea was extended to Iranian negotiators. Publicly, the president has expressed disapproval of that. So it kind of remains to be seen where exactly, we know what the president has publicly said about his red lines, but when it comes down to behind closed doors inside that negotiation, what the U.S. is willing to offer, we still have questions about that.
So the Dow is up 850 points. The oil futures are down more than 10%. How would you characterize the White House as taking this news today?
I mean, I think that they would take a victory lap in terms of seeing the immediate response. But, again, financial analysts would urge some more caution. It's going to take weeks, if not months, to get things back to normal if negotiations go well and continue to move in that right direction. There are still massive concerns in Europe, for instance, which is much more reliant, and Asia, of course, much more reliant on the Strait of Hormuz for their oil supply. Jet fuel shortage concerns in Europe as well, with some dire warnings about that. The U.S. has said that, it's kind of insulated because it's not as reliant on the Strait of Hormuz, and that, things will continue to trend in the right direction. The Treasury Secretary, trying to reassure people, said that he believes gas prices, which have been a pressure point for so many people, will drop to those lower levels in the $3 range this summer if negotiations go well. But, CBS News was talking to supporters of President Trump in Las Vegas last night, and they clearly expressed that they are feeling the pinch, that they're paying more for gas, for groceries, that prices are up, they say, in a number of places. And here in Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia, I've been in touch with small business owners who say that they're starting to see it at their places of business because people just don't have as much discretionary income to spend out, for instance, in restaurants, and that they're, making more of a conscious effort to budget. And of course, Democratic candidates and lawmakers are seizing on this as a key issue just months away from the midterms.
All right. CBS White House correspondent Natalie Brand joining us live on a Friday morning. Natalie, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.
Take care. 10 scientists have died or disappeared all with links to the nation's nuclear programs, raising questions about possible connections. We get more from News Nation's Nancy Liu at the White House.
The White House acknowledgement and mention of possibly looking into the deaths and disappearances is encouraging news for those seeking answers and explanations. Since 2023, 10 American scientists have either died or disappeared under mysterious circumstances. All had links to government secrets and programs tied to military defense and UFOs. Suspicion has been swirling since Air Force General William McCaslin vanished from his home in New Mexico on February 27th without his phone or his prescription glasses, though his wallet and a gun were missing from the home. The 68-year-old was known as the UFO gatekeeper and had worked at the base, long rumored to house debris from the 1947 Roswell crash. Now, the latest person tied to the mystery is 48-year-old Steven Garcia, a government contractor who also left his New Mexico home with a gun. He hasn't been seen since last August. On News Nation's Jesse Weber tonight, a veteran journalist following all of it called the newest case chilling. Like McCaslin, Garcia had top security clearances and worked on military nuclear weapons.
And it sounds crazy, but between Garcia and General McCaslin, I have to wonder, and again, I know this sounds crazy, but it could be an option here. I mean, is the government doing this? Are they taking out their own people?
Authorities in New Mexico have said there is no evidence indicating foul play in the case of General McCaslin, but their investigation remains active.
News Nation's Nancy Liu.
It's coming up on 7:23. Chris Sullivan has his tinfoil hat on, and he's watching traffic for us.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut because I could be next. That's a really fascinating story. Look at the roads right now. We are seeing some building volumes getting towards 7:30, but really, for a Friday light, it is super light, which is great. However, we have picked up our first little red of the morning on northbound I-5 right after the West Seattle Bridge, just through that merging there. But we still have about a 37-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. That's a great drive. So, to count it and put it in the win column. Rented to Bellevue, a little braking right around SR 900, a little red on the map, but overall a 20-minute trip to Bellevue. Again, that's a good day. Behind that, the Valley Freeway, 35 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems, and most of Pierce County is all green as well. Lake Bridges, quiet, coming down from the north end. Really not much at all. 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by KIRO Newsradio's app. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates sent right to your phone.
It's going to be a lovely Friday and a nice weekend, too. Partly cloudy for today. We're going to warm up to 58. Overnight low about 43 for tomorrow and Sunday. Mix of sun and clouds. 67 Saturday, couple degrees warmer on Sunday. Monday, we will likely hit 70 with partly sunny skies. So it looks like some showers may arrive by Tuesday. Right now, it's mostly cloudy and 44 in Seattle.
More of the day's top stories on the way. And in the 7:35 commentary, Seattle has released its Clean City Report. You won't believe how many needles they picked up. That's coming up at 7:35.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed. The 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
This is Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland. I'm working to lower costs, grow the middle class, keep us safe, and defend our freedom. I'm also here to help you with the IRS, Social Security, Medicare, the VA, passports, and more. We've recovered over $16 million for taxpayers and look forward to helping you. Call me at 360-459-8514 or visit strickland.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-265-7681. 800-265-7681. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-265-7681.
Gas prices keep climbing, but the cost to drive doesn't have to. At Subaru of Puyallup, fuel-efficient models help you go farther on every tank with the confidence of all-wheel drive. From the all-electric Solterra to the Forester Hybrid with up to 35 miles per gallon, your stress-free shopping experience starts at Subaru of Puyallup. For stress-free pricing, a huge selection, and all the current pricing and financing specials, visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I check it late at night when my wife's not looking.
Weekdays noon to 3.
My favorite thing on my phone, which is my weather app.
First thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
On KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio App.
Spring is a season homeowners start improving their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. If your home needs roofing, siding, new windows, gutters, or decking, our team can take care of it all. For a limited time, save up to $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows project. Planning multiple upgrades? Combine your projects and save even more. Or with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. You can start your project now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemen'shealth.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 7:30. A legal challenge to a new Washington law affecting sheriffs is now headed to a different courtroom.
Case centers on a new state law that requires sheriffs to meet new standards and sign a loyalty oath. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more on what happens next.
Yeah, so let's talk about the new requirements for all sheriffs. They now have to have 5 years of full-time law enforcement experience, be at least 25 years old, no felony or gross misdemeanor convictions, no conduct that would result in their certification by the Criminal Justice Training Commission being revoked. And they have to sign an oath saying that they meet all of those standards. Critics and the sheriffs who are now suing the state say that law allows the state to pick favorites and become the gatekeeper for who gets to be sheriff and who doesn't, not the people who elected them to office. Their lawyer, Mark Lamb, argued in Superior Court in Eastern Washington yesterday. It also denies sheriffs the ability to speak their mind and exercise their freedom of speech.
The issue here, Your Honor, is that you have a significant issue of constitutional import. We're talking about the gravest possible consequence under the First Amendment, where time is of the essence in this situation, that an infringement of a First Amendment right, even for minimal periods of time, unquestionably constitutes an irreparable injury.
Well, the Solicitor General, Noah Purcell, argued sheriffs and sheriff candidates all swear under penalty of perjury that they meet certification standards set by the CJTC already. Therefore,
all of the plaintiff sheriffs are currently certified by the Criminal Justice Training Commission. They are currently certified under the exact standard that they're saying they can't possibly comply with. So the idea that somehow in the next 2 weeks, something's going to change that will render them unable to comply with that law just doesn't pass the smell test. It just doesn't make any sense.
A lot of people following this case. Opponents of the law were hoping for a ruling on an injunction yesterday. Instead, the judge in Eastern Washington, who seemed sympathetic to the sheriffs who filed the lawsuit, moved the case to Thurston County because there is a similar case going on here in Western Washington. A hearing is set now for May 1st.
All right. Thanks for the update. Luke Ducey reporting.
An iconic Seattle parking garage with a checkered history is now closed. The Seattle Times reports all entrances are blocked to the sinking ship parking garage in Pioneer Square. That garage was built in the 60s. It has seen its share of controversy. A man was killed after a gunfight inside the garage earlier this year. The owners also face a wrongful death lawsuit connected to another fatal shooting there 2 years ago.
Heads up if you're driving south on I-5 through the weekend. This is happening near Fife. WashDOT shutting down a stretch of the southbound lanes tonight and tomorrow night. They're putting up a new electronic sign. The closure runs from 54th Avenue to Port of Tacoma Road, including the on-ramps from 54th. Crews start at 11 o'clock each night. The road is expected to reopen by 7:30 tomorrow morning, 8:30 on Sunday morning.
With that, let's find out what's happening on the roads right now. It's 7:33, and Chris Sullivan has our traffic.
And perhaps even a bigger impact this weekend. Northbound 405 is going to be closed between Renton and Coal Creek Parkway because as they continue to work on the widening there. That's from 11:30 tonight to 4 a.m. Monday. So the full meal deal on that. And we've done this before. Coal Creek Parkway becomes your alternate, but it can't handle the amount of cars that are there. So just keep that one in mind. We are finally seeing our first legitimate slowing of the morning. One of them spots right there at 405 through the Renton S-curves. But a 22-minute drive to Bellevue is a win. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, it's under 40. The other spot is northbound I-5 as you approach the Michigan curb, getting up past the West Seattle Bridge. But a 37-minute trip to Seattle out of Federal Way is a win as well. Coming down from the north end, no problems for anybody. We are seeing just slightest hesitations here and there. 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUI-OA, serving the Pacific Northwest for over 300 years, under 30 years, with hundreds of 5-star reviews. 1-800-DUI-OA.com.
It's going to be a beautiful Friday. It is Friday, Sully. I just thought I'd remind you.
Yeah, thank you.
A mix of clouds and sun. 58 the high for today. 43 overnight. And then tomorrow and Sunday look terrific. Mix of cloud and sounds.
I'm rubbing off on you.
I did it. Sun and clouds. It is Friday. Okay, we'll be in the upper 60s for tomorrow and Sunday. Maybe hit 70 on Monday. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 44, I think.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
And it's time for the 7:35 commentary. Seattle released its Clean City report this week, and the city wants you to know it had a big year. 5.3 million pounds of waste removed from Seattle streets in 2025. The report helpfully notes that's about the weight of about 530 orca whales, in case you needed a visual. And then there's this number, 661,000 sharps, needles, collected from Seattle streets, sidewalks, and public spaces in a single year. Not a supervised injection site, not a clinic, the street, the sidewalk, the park where you walk your dog. 661,000 needles. Now, this wouldn't be tolerated in Nashville. It would not be tolerated in Houston. Most American cities looked at this problem and said, no, not here, not on our sidewalks, not in our parks. And then there are the cities that decided open drug use is just the price of progress. Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle fits right in. A lot of cities are rethinking this approach, however. We have San Francisco, which has elected a new mayor who ran explicitly on cleaning up the streets and cracking down on open drug use. Denver has made headlines for its drug crisis, and fed-up Colorado citizens gathered 200,000 signatures to put a fentanyl crackdown on this November's ballot. The cities that helped write the book on the problem are starting to rewrite it. But Seattle hasn't picked up a pen yet. Most of the country has figured out this doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you allow it, because there are no consequences, because the message sent to people using drugs on public sidewalks here is, we see you, here are some clean supplies, have a nice day. Seattle has been sending that message for years, and 661,000 needles is what it looks like. Here's what else is buried in that report. The city handed out nearly 20,000 purple garbage bags to encampment residents last year, collected over 700,000 pounds of trash from those camps every week. 700,000 pounds every week. As part of what the report calls a vehicle support pilot, the city provided gas, jump starts, and tire repair to help RV residents relocate voluntarily. No word on how far, maybe just block over. 2 weeks ago, I visited the parks on North Beacon Hill again. It was my fourth trip in 5 months. Tents, open drug use, human waste on walking paths, the traditional Korean pavilion at Daejeon Park, a gift from Seattle's sister city in South Korea, is being lived in, deteriorating. A gift from another nation, left to rot. Last Thursday, the city cleared out the camps. By Monday, the tents were already coming back. And it's not just North Beacon Hill. Our own James Lynch was reporting live from a sweep at Totem Pole Park Wednesday afternoon. By yesterday morning, tents were back. City deserves credit for the cleanup work. 31,000 volunteer hours, real effort by real people. But we've seen this movie before. A few years back, the MLB All-Star Game came to town. The city scrambled. Streets got cleaned. The teams left, and within a week, it was back to business as usual. You know that house, the one with the messy living room? Company's coming, so you spend a Saturday making it spotless. You got vacuum lines on the carpet. The dishes are done. Everything is in its place. By Tuesday after they leave, the laundry pile is back on the couch. The dishes are stacking up. The clutter found its way home. Now, my wife would like me to clarify this is not about the Harger house. This is a purely hypothetical house, and please don't stop by unannounced on a Tuesday. Except this city isn't a living room, and the clutter is 661,000 needles. So the World Cup visitors will see a beautiful Seattle, clean streets, working parks, a city that functions. They'll go home, tell their friends what a great city Seattle is. Then FIFA leaves, and the mess returns. It always does. The city measured this year's cleanup in orca whales, 530 of them. Maybe next year they can measure something else, like whether the tents come back. And that's the 735 commentary for Friday, April 17th, 2026. You can text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line at 888-973-5476. Join the chat on our YouTube Live at KIRO Newsradio, or leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:39. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
I just thought it was weird that Charlie described my house this weekend with my brother and sister-in-law coming up this weekend.
Isn't that why you couldn't watch the Masters?
Yeah, I had a honey-do list to do. Let's just say it's not going to get back the old way. Oh. Northbound I-405 continues to be one of our slow spots right now as we work our way through the Renton S curves. We'll talk about it next.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
The action is fierce, the energy is over the top, and it's a night you don't want to miss. It's Excite Fight Live MMA at Muckleshoot Casino Resort on Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. See a full night of incredible combat when MMA fighters face off in the cage and turn the excitement all the way up. Get your tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
7:43. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
We are enjoying a very good Friday out there. It's nice and easy across the board, just a little bit of red here and there. For those of you on 405 through those Renton S-curves, that's one of the spots that is a little slower than the rest of the map would indicate. But overall, 22 minutes to get you up to Bellevue. That's a good day. By the time you're up to 30th, it's a free and clear the rest of the way. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, 35 to 40 minutes, closer to 35 really. Just some spots here and there, even through Auburn. It's not bad at all. Federal Way to Seattle, another one of those places where we see the brake lights past the West Seattle Bridge, but 38 minutes to get you to Seattle. That also is a very good day. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. Even eastbound 16 past Cheney Stadium, lighter than normal. Lake bridges are fine coming down from the north end, 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. It's been one of the better days on southbound 5 and 405 since we've had the Revive I-5 work going on since January. So, good day. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Considering a new Carrier cooling system before the summer heat wave? Well, you can get a price estimate on your phone in 60 seconds from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Partly sunny for your Friday, 58 the high for today, 43 our overnight low, and the weekend looks terrific. Partly sunny for tomorrow, 67, 69 on Sunday. Probably see a few more clouds, but still a very pleasant day. Monday, partly cloudy and 70. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 44.
Coming up on Seattle's Morning News, we're going to talk to G. Scott. That's on the way. here on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
Families across Western Washington voted Aegis Living Best Senior Living Community, and Seniorly ranked them #1 in America. See why. Schedule a tour today at aegisliving.com/KIRO and get a special take-home gift. Aegis Living. This must be the place.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
With the high gas prices, now is the time to buy a hybrid or all-electric at Subaru of Puyallup. Great selection and pricing are at your stress-free dealership, SubaruofPuyallup.com.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Your Friday 747 people are counting on you to be here, G.
You made it. Barely.
No, what happened,
you
I
out
got to
of
make
breath?
sure I'm showered.
Let me tell you what, G will give me such a heart attack every Friday because I'll look out the window and at 7:45 he is not there, and I'll go searching around the station.
And I said, David, I know you coming, bruh. Okay, so there's an article out here. Got people like David Burbank a little nervous, you know. And so the article's whole premise is that the NBA could say no to Seattle. Technically, it's true. Watch this, Manda.
Here we go again.
It would be like Charlie proposing to Ingrid. She says yes, that she's going to do it. Technically, she might not show up.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Technically, it's not a wedding until she shows up.
Correct.
This is what's happening here. You got all of the owners unanimously saying yes. You got Adam Silver coming out saying, okay, we're exclusively looking at 2 cities. We're in a relationship. We are engaged. I need you guys to find some people that can buy the team if we decide to. So, technically...
Where is said article? I haven't seen it yet.
It's in the Times.
Times.
Okay.
So,
there it is.
So did I do a good job with that, David?
Yeah, well, one thing that did stand out to me about this article was Tim Booth in the Times was he kind of brought up this thing where if we almost make it to the finish line, if the rug gets pulled out from under us, if there's no expansion after all, that could end up poisoning the well down the road. Like Seattle fans, Seattle buyers potentially would be like, well, it didn't go through last time. We don't want the NBA here anymore. And that is what would really scare me.
Okay. I'm glad you... Thank you, David, for bringing that up. Because let me just tell y'all something. If an NBA team does not come to Seattle after this, it's never coming here, right? And if that were to happen, that would let me know that, I mean, look, let's be all the way real. Nobody's watching the dang on NBA anymore. That's the truth. And no, it's not just Seattle, period. Gen Z, they don't watch games the way Sully and I used to back in our day. In the 90s, we watched entire basketball games, right? Young Gen Z, all they care about is Cauchy, right? Sports betting, highlights, and everything. They don't even watch the entire game. So the NBA already has a problem. Not a talent problem, a packaging problem. It is an awful product right now. So, to David's point, you're right. If a team doesn't happen here, it's like that one friend that you got in your life that keeps saying that they're going to get married, but they single forever, right? And then they find another one, and then that relationship didn't work out. If this don't work out, then Seattle going to be single forever without a team. But I do think it's going to work out.
You do think it's going to work out?
Yes, hell yeah. The hardest hurdle for me was the owners, right? The owners saying, hey, do we want to make less money? Because if we add 2 more teams, we make less money to start. The fact that they all said yes, that was the biggest hurdle.
What are we hearing about anybody who could buy a team? Any rumblings around the city? I don't want you to gossip, but have you heard anything about potential buyers?
No, and no on the Seahawks as well.
Okay.
Because here's something that I did find out. And by the way, if anybody tells you, oh, I heard this, no, you didn't. Because, no, let me tell you why you didn't hear it. Because if you are a potential buyer and you leak out that you are a potential buyer, you're out. So you cannot. Oh, no, yeah. That's why it's lock and key. So the first time you hear somebody says, or you hear G say, well, I heard, I'm lying. You know what I mean? Like it didn't happen. So the answer to your question, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Steve Ballmer for an NBA team. You know what I mean? Because he already has an NBA team. So what I mean by that is
football team, though?
Yeah. Oh, did you see the look in G's eyes when he said that?
What'd I say?
He's like, he already has an NBA team.
He does.
I know, but he doesn't have a football team.
You guys remember Paul Allen had a basketball team first.
Yes, he did.
Then he bought an NFL team
In a different city.
Ponderous.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm just talking about history. Gives you context. I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to this stuff. I'm just telling y'all about how that kind of thing went. Sully, am I right though?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's public knowledge. Paul Allen bought an
The
NBA team first.
Oh yeah, he ran the Trailblazers. Yeah,
and then he bought. As a matter of fact, he had Trader Bob Whitsitt.
I remember Trader Bob.
He was the president of everything.
And his hatchet man, Bert Cold.
Yep.
I remember those days. I was covering the Blazers back in the day when that happened.
Because Paul was like, hey, I need somebody to come and help me with the Seahawks too. So he went and did both. Now, do I think that that's possible? Somebody could do? No, nobody can do that today. Where you could just have an NBA team and then go buy an NFL team? That's impossible.
I know one person who could.
Who?
He already has an NBA team.
Oh, what?
Now he needs a football team.
Oh,
who knows?
Well, that's pure conjecture just
Maybe
coming
he's
from
listening
Manda.
right now.
Manda Factor?
You heard it
Maybe
first.
he's listening, and
You heard
it'll
it
give him
first.
an idea.
By the way, I like what you're wearing today.
Thank you. My spiffy new Steelhead Mariners jersey.
Now, have you been to a game on Sunday yet? You got to get to one.
On Sunday.
Well,
That's when
they wear
those
the
Oh,
jerseys.
duh. No, I haven't.
Yeah, so if you do go, you got to make sure you
Okay. Check. I might go tomorrow.
stay
though.
for the whole game.
I'm going to stay for the whole game. That was a year ago. Stop it.
But wait a minute. Manda
may be excused.
Manda stays for
Whoa.
whole football games. You know, Manda,
It was
you've
past
been
my bedtime, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, I get that on the bedtime.
Huh?
By the way, it was yesterday, sunset, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I missed it. your dog be asleep, man.
Good for
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
All right. You may be excused. Thanks for stopping by.
Twice in a day?
Your 7:45 Friday
Sully,
people are really happy.
Winning has no bedtime.
You got a weekend this weekend, or you got to do more chores?
No, my brother and sister-in-law are coming up. We're going to the Mariner game tomorrow. Going to our first game of the season.
Oh, you going to stay for the whole game?
Of course. Yeah. Darn right. It's going to be 65, 70
I
degrees.
excused you a minute ago.
Sully has traffic for us.
And it's a great day across the board. Our freeways are going nice and easy. Even through the Renton S curves where we have a little bit of braking, it's certainly manageable. 20 minutes to get you up to Bellevue. And behind that, a little spillover onto the Valley Freeway, but all in all, 37 minutes up the valley as well. If y'all up to Renton, nice and easy. Northbound I-5, Federal Way to Seattle, enjoying a pretty good day, too. 35 minutes on that drive, even with brake lights past the West Seattle Bridge. Speaking of bridges, I-90 and 520 looking really good. And coming down from the north end, just slight hesitation right around 522. But overall, 405, I-5 looking good. 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
Well, the forecast is looking good, too, for today. A partly cloudy 58. We'll see a mix of clouds and sun for the weekend. 67 tomorrow, 69 on Sunday. It's 44 right now.
We'll have the day's top stories on the way. And at 8:35, we're going to hear from Dave Vasconi, a former Marysville police officer who lost nearly 200 pounds to change his entire life. That's coming up at 8:35.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through Sunday, May 3rd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Carter
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump applauds Iran's move to reopen the Strait of Hormuz as long as a ceasefire remains in place. CBS's Charlie Daggett.
The Iranians have said essentially what they're saying is their lane is open. This isn't a fully open strait, but obviously people are reacting with confidence about it. There are a lot of backlog ships inside that area in the Persian Gulf that need to pass through there. Now we look to see what the U.S. military is doing, but I can tell you the last time I spoke to them, is the U.S. military going to be involved in any kind of mine clearance in that region? And the answer was not now.
President Trump has suggested the U.S. would help with mine clearing. Today's news sent oil prices lower and stocks higher. President Trump also saying on social media the American blockade of Iran's ports will continue, and he indicates the U.S. has prohibited Israel from further strikes in Lebanon, saying enough is enough in Israel's battles with Hezbollah. A celebratory mood today in Lebanon. This is the first full day of a 10-day ceasefire with Israel. Situation in the Middle East is threatening to cause some travel disruptions, as we hear from CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
Airlines worldwide are feeling the impact, and it's leading to tight supplies in Asia, Europe, and Africa. Germany's Lufthansa is shutting down a regional airline this week, parking more than 24 planes now and more in the fall. Dutch airline KLM said it's cutting about 160 flights next month.
L.A. police have arrested the singer known as David in connection with the murder of a 14-year-old girl. CBS's Matt Gutman reports her body was found in his car, but he denies wrongdoing.
This is a huge break in the case involving an artist who is one of the most streamed musicians in the world. And for months after a girl's body was found in the trunk of David's car, it was unclear if an arrest would even happen. But this morning, David is being held without bail here in Los Angeles.
CBS's Michael Wallace tells us that a UPS jet had a close call with a small plane at a major airport.
The UPS cargo plane was coming in for a landing at Louisville's Muhammad Ali International Airport Tuesday night when a small plane taxied too close to the same runway.
25, stop. Skyline 25, what are you doing?
The UPS plane had descended to an altitude of 125 feet when it was ordered to pull up. UPS's Michelle Polk.
We were directed to do a go-around, and we performed it beautifully.
In November, a UPS jet crashed at that same airport, killing 14 people.
Ford is recalling more than 1 million F-150 pickup trucks because of a gear shift issue. On Wall Street, the Dow is up about 1,000 points. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
8:03 Friday morning. Chris Sullivan is watching the roads.
And we are enjoying a very good day out there. For Friday, even a Friday light, it's better than you might expect. The heaviest drive is, again, this isn't unusual, is the Renton S-curves right there on 405 northbound. Even on Friday lights, that's one of our busiest, if not our busiest corridors. And we're looking at about a 22-minute trip to get you up to Bellevue. But by the time you're up to 30th, you're in a really good spot. And behind that, there really isn't much spillover onto the Valley Freeway. Overall, 35 minutes from Puyallup to Renton, 35 as well from Federal Way to Seattle, even past the West Seattle Bridge. It's a nice and easy day. Lake bridges, quiet, both directions. No issues coming down out of the north end, just a slight hesitation in Northgate, a little bit of braking approaching 522 in Bothell. But overall, 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. That is a very good day. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
8:04 on the Friday, April 17th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
A new survey from the University of Washington finds injection drug use across the region has dropped by nearly 50%.
Now, the researchers say meth is now surpassing fentanyl as a drug most commonly used on the streets and argue that stable housing more than sobriety should be the focus.
Well, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here to tell us a closer look, tells a more complicated story.
I had a conversation
conversation with Ryan this morning, who lives on the streets. He was sitting with his dog just across the street from the studio, charging his electronic devices from an outlet on the outside of a building. You know, I asked him, does he see more meth or fentanyl? And he told me by far more fentanyl.
Everybody has it everywhere. It's everywhere. And like literally you go on the third Street or 12th and Jackson or any of the needle exchanges, there's tons of people that have it, and they just hang out there, and it's like you can't even walk by there without somebody asking you. You know, and any of the Plymouth buildings, it's everywhere.
The survey put out by the UW School of Public Health also claims injection drug use dropped from 93% to 44% since 2021, with smoking drugs now dominant. Ryan tells me he sees people smoking and injecting every day, and people flocking to Seattle from all over because they know they can get cheap drugs and any services they need. He told me about one person he knows who was arrested recently.
He ran out of gas on the freeway. He had a warrant, and the state patrol picked him up, took him to jail, and then they put him all the way down to Louisiana. And then the second he gets out, he's coming right back up here, and he's doing the same thing. And it's like he's not going to stop.
The other area that the survey covered, that housing, not sobriety, is the solution for people using meth. Well, Seattle's policies seem to kind of mirror that a bit. Just this past Monday, City Council unanimously passed 2 ordinances that cut red tape for more shelter space for the homeless and add $4.8 million to help fund housing and wraparound care as well, which can include drug treatment. You know, my chat with Ryan doesn't draw major conclusions, of course. I mean, drug and homelessness are complicated issues. They are often intertwined. You can't talk with one about one without the other. But he gave us some great perspective from someone on the streets. He says, you know, about going into housing, it's scary to go into housing, he says, but it's also scary on the streets. He was robbed just recently of a lot of the items that he had. He has his dog, and they walked away from our chat for some other place heading down the road this morning.
It's such a complicated issue. Luke Ducey, thanks for reporting for us. 8:07 now.
One day after the city of Seattle swept a homeless encampment in West Seattle, some campers are back, and so is the illegal drug use. A handful of people were back at Rotary Viewpoint Park, also known as Totem Pole Park. Neighbors like Iris Hicks are sympathetic but frustrated.
We wanted homelessness to be solved, so we have thrown tax dollars at it, and nothing substantial has come out of it. We need meaningful action to happen for these folks.
Listener Fernando texted us this morning. He says, as of this morning, no tents at Totem Pole, 1 shopping cart, 4 individuals, 1 bent over.
8:07 now. An escapee from Western State Hospital on the lam for nearly 2 weeks is back behind bars. KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch tells us how it all happened.
Joshua Rice walked away from Western State Hospital March 31st. A statewide search was initiated, but he was nowhere to be found until SeaTac police arrested him Sunday for trespassing. Lakewood Police Sergeant Charles Porsche.
They found out about the warrants that were out for him, and so he was booked into the SCORE jail and then ultimately transported to the Pierce County Jail.
James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Chicka Chicka.
We used to listen to some pretty weird music, didn't we?
Yeah, this soundtrack is so amazing.
This song.
Yeah.
Now I'm listening to it going,
Was this on the Ferris Bueller soundtrack?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
such a good soundtrack.
Yeah, just good stuff.
Yellow with Oh Yeah.
Yeah, Yellow.
Oh, yeah.
With
All
no
right.
W.
It's Friday, and we are definitely feeling it around here today. It's April 17th. He's Charlie Harger on Manda Factor.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful weekend in front of us. I know you're going to the ball game, Sully. It'll be mid-60s tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
That'll be nice.
And it's an early game, too, 4:20.
Yeah, like 4:10, 4:20, something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
so a little earlier. There must be something going on at Lumen next door after, so...
I think it's Cal Raleigh Jersey Day.
Oh, yeah, it is. And kind of throwback. So kind of the powdery blue.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got to get there early.
Speaking of, we're going to have Luke Ducey join us again with our new Friday segment on Seattle's Morning News, a fan of the week. That's when he heads to T-Mobile Park every week to meet some of the best Mariners fans in town.
Stay with us. We're also going to hear a story of determination and resilience from former Marysville police officer Dave Vasconi. He lost nearly 200 pounds and changed his entire life.
It's 8:09 now. Congresswoman Susan Del Bene is blasting a new pilot program she says is allowing private companies to review Medicare claims. KIRO's John Repp has a closer look at yesterday's confrontation with the Health and Human Services Secretary.
During a House committee hearing, Del Bene targeted an AI-powered pilot program designed to cut waste. She said in reality, it kept a local senior from getting treatment for a herniated disc. Her question for RFK.
Do you think that Joanne's treatment, which would allow her to walk and live with less pain that her doctor has prescribed, do you think that's wasteful?
Do you want me to actually answer that question?
Yeah.
I think that's a terrible outcome.
She's introduced legislation to stop the AI pilot program. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
We told you 5 massage parlors in Bothell were shut down for fire code violations while police investigate suspected prostitution and human trafficking. Well, KIRO 7's Jack Bilyeu spoke with a couple who owns 2 of the parlors. They claim they've done nothing wrong.
And you say you're not doing any prostitution?
No.
And you're not doing any human trafficking?
Of course. You can go inside to check.
Lee Wijwo says his wife, Lee Jun Yang, owns 2 of the massage parlors that were shut down during the bust. One's right across the street from Bothell Police Headquarters. The other's right across the street from a church. Lee denies any wrongdoing.
Bothell police say they continue their investigation and do expect charges to be filed.
Seattle's waterfront preparing for a big economic boost as cruise ship season kicks off today. KIRO 7's Brooke Griffin reports the 2026 season includes more than 300 sailings to Alaska.
That's all part of a massive popularity boost that Alaskan cruises have seen in the past couple of years. The 2026 Alaska cruise season will rotate through 15 cruise lines and 26 different ships. 2 new Alaska cruises with the Virgin Voyages and the MSC cruises are joining the rotation this year.
Close to 2 million people expected to embark on a cruise from Seattle this summer.
A battle over pickleball is brewing in Seattle. Fans say a new plan from the city will shut down 36 public courts at 7 locations. This is in response to the city's draft racket sports strategy that seeks to balance demand from both tennis and pickleball proponents. The Seattle Metro Pickleball Association says the plan is unfair and favors tennis players. The city's launching an online survey today with in-person meetings around the city over the next 3 weeks.
Did he really write pickleball proponents?
Yes, he did.
Okay, thanks a lot, John Repp. You might want to avoid northbound 405 between Renton and Bellevue this weekend. All northbound 405 lanes will be closed from Sunset to Coal Creek Parkway from 11:30 tonight through early Monday morning. The detour route is Coal Creek Parkway. That can't handle the volume of traffic. WashDOT is widening the roadway to expand the express toll lane system.
It's 8:12. We'll get to our current traffic in just a moment, but first, a beautiful forecast for the weekend. Today, we should warm up to about 58 with clouds and sun. Same pattern, but warmer for the weekend. Tomorrow, 67, 69 on Sunday. Might be a little bit more cloudy, but we'll still see peaks of sunshine. Monday, partly sunny and 70. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 44.
Coming up on 8:13, let's get a check on the roadways with Chris Sullivan.
And you know what happens when the roads are this light?
People make bad choices.
One, but State Patrol has a lot better opportunity to pull people over without having them causing an issue. Because, normally...
Looking for people making bad choices.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it sounds like our good friend Adam, the Staples driver, says it looks like there might be a little emphasis patrol going on the northbound I-5 drive today from about Boeing Field on up through Shoreline. He says they're in the SUVs, not bikes, but just be prepared. Normally you don't see a lot of enforcement during the morning commute because when you pull somebody over, it can block a lane or it causes extra congestion. A day like today, they can do it. So just be careful. Watch your speed. Got some extra eyes are watching you. The good news is even with some of that, we're really not seeing any slowing at all up that corridor. Federal Way to Seattle's at 35 minutes. Also 35 from Puyallup to Renton are seeing a little bit of braking at the far north end. And then Renton to Bellevue, we've got about 22 minutes. Lake bridges are still in very good shape. All in all, not too bad from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Both of those drives are close to 35 minutes. And I'm looking for something westbound on the Boeing Freeway right there as you get off at the Boeing plant. I'm not sure if that's just some volume or if we have something on 526. Well, I'll have more for you on that in 10 minutes. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. With the high gas prices, that is, now's the time to buy a hybrid or an all-electric at Subaru of Puyallup. Great selection, pricing. They're all at your stress-free dealership, SubaruofPuyallup.com.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's Morning News.
Well, the Mariners return home today to take on the Texas Rangers, and they will be playing, as always, in front of the best fans in the world at T-Mobile Park.
Heck yeah. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey spoke to some of those fans in our new weekly segment, Fan of the Week. Here's Luke.
If you want to find the true to the blue diehard Seattle Mariners fans, just head to T-Mobile Park for a day game on a Monday. Everything else feels the same. The food still hits. And the beer, well, it's still cold if you want one. The crowd has thinned out a bit, and there are a few more empty seats here and there. And it's a little quieter until Josh Naylor takes command with his second home run of the game.
Swung on, lasered, center field. Has he done it again? Yes, he has! It's in the seats!
And the M's sweep a 4-game series against the Astros. But look a little closer and you'll find fans like Chris and Kayla. Chris absolutely loves the Mariners.
Oh, yeah.
The tattoos on the right shoulder and the left forearm, that beard, and a little stain on the jersey from the 3rd inning. Chris is a lifelong fan who's been going to games since the Kingdom days.
Well, I've always come to the Mariners games ever since I was a kid with my family.
And Kayla? More of a Seahawks fan at first. You can tell by the action green hair, but she kind of married into Mariners fandom, and now, well, there's no turning back.
Well, no, I'm here for the atmosphere of everybody collecting together.
I caught the two of them during the 7th inning stretch.
What stretch?
After we all sang, it was time for the speed round. What is your favorite Mariners moment?
To tell you the honest truth, when Randy Johnson blew apart the pigeon.
That's terrible. It's aggressive. That's a little aggressive.
Who is your favorite Mariner?
I've always preferred Griffey and Randy Johnson myself, but good choices.
What is your go-to ballpark food?
Hot dogs.
Yeah, gotta be a hot dog. Ketchup or mustard.
Oh.
What's your favorite M's uniform?
For me, it's always been the white and blue.
What's the one team you cannot stand?
Right now, the Astros.
And some bonus questions to make up for the big unit and that poor bird. Oh, and he was also with the Diamondbacks at the time. Sorry, Chris. Real grass or AstroTurf?
Personally would do natural grass just because I'm a landscaper, but I mean...
Us simpletons need to keep it simple.
AstroTurf makes more sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Baseball cap, forward or backwards?
Forward.
And finally was the unveiling of Ichiro's statue, the break the Mariners needed.
Yes.
Yes.
I 100% think it's exactly the momentum we needed.
Mariners won the game 6-2 against the Astros. Chris and Kayla are our fans of the week. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
That's awesome.
Love that. Love the fans. You can also check that out. We have it up on mynorthwest.com because it's a video report, too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Here's a guy who has a bunch of his own fans, an unlikely internet mini celebrity, a 90-year-old receipt checker at the Costco in Covington known for never cracking a smile. The Seattle Times reports Lee Waters retires tomorrow, but he has more than 15,000 fans on a Facebook group dedicated to him that launched back in 2020. Waters says he adopted the grim face persona, quote, again, his words, to look like a badass. But he says he's had a ball and he'll miss his customers and his coworkers.
Okay, so if you are somebody who goes to the Covington Costco, as I sometimes do,
yes.
Lee is there as you're getting your receipt checked. And if you pose for a picture with him, tomorrow being the last day, remember, you must not smile.
No.
Lee does not tolerate those hijinks. You must have a very serious look on your face.
We talked about him earlier this morning, and his grandson happened to be listening.
Yeah, Matt in Ravensdale. He says it's like going around with a mini celebrity.
Yep.
So a lot of fun. Congratulations on your retirement, Lee. It is now 8:19 here on Seattle's Morning News. The USS Gerald Ford and its crew have seen some rough seas over the last 10 months. News Nation's Robert Rizzo reports from Norfolk, Virginia, and says the extended deployment has led to a shortage of everyday items.
Since being deployed back in June 2025, the crew of USS Gerald R. Ford have had several issues to overcome. Plumbing issues in January 2026 and a laundry fire in March.
When we heard that they had a laundry room fire and there were 600 sailors displaced from berthing, we were asked to see if we could do anything about it.
Kelsey Eckelman and Mike Lassiter run the Reactor is Critical, a humor website for current and past members of the United States Navy nuclear power program. After hearing of the issues facing the crew, they decided to take action in a humorous way with Operation Panty Drop.
At the end of the first day, we brought in $6,000 and then $12,000 by the second day. And then by the time we sent everything out, it was about $20,000.
They took that money and purchased much-needed supplies for the crew of the Ford, including stickers, hot sauce, and 600 brown T-shirts.
One of the reasons we chose brown shirts is because you can wear it under your uniform.
They also sent feminine hygiene products, hair ties, and 600 pair of panties.
They really did need underwear and shirts that they could wear with their uniforms. A lot of the female sailors were asking for hair ties and hairbrushes, really basic stuff that they weren't able to get themselves.
They have since stopped taking money donations, and the items are being shipped to the sailors on board the Ford, but they have yet to receive them.
We put it out there that we wanted to, make their deployment, if not better, at least funnier. So more of a morale boost than anything.
USS Gerald R. Ford remains on deployment and is scheduled to return to Norfolk in May.
The USS Ford recently broke the record for the longest post-Vietnam War deployment.
The Pentagon is reportedly asking some of America's industrial leaders for help with the war effort. News Nation's Elizabeth Pran reports the Wall Street Journal says companies like Ford and General Motors have been approached to speed up weapons production.
We're not talking car companies making missiles from scratch. Think of a World War II model. So companies coming together to build a number of parts, castings, wiring components, propulsion components, electronics, vehicle parts. And we know that the administration is speaking to companies such as Ford and GM, but also GE Aerospace and Oshkosh, as well as other contractors. So increased speed, increased volume and output really bolster the national security supply chain. And when we think of what is at risk, high-end air and missile defense inventories, these aren't endless. So if there is a long-term conflict that the U.S. is involved with, it could take years to rebuild. The evidence is that the Pentagon might be worried about precision ammunition, about raw materials to keep production moving. And now, of course, we have the big defense companies in play. Those are still the main suppliers, the core here. But the change or the pivot here is commercial manufacturing to get that stockpile as large as possible. We heard from the Secretary of Defense say this is wartime footing, and we heard the president in years past reference his business background, and it's just to play safe rather than sorry. Back to you.
Thank you. It's 8:23 now. Let's head over to Sully at the traffic desk.
And I could use a little bit of help from my friends on the Boeing Freeway on westbound 526 approaching the Boeing plant. If you can tell me why we're kind of at an all-stop approaching the plant, that would be very helpful. It seems to be very slow in that general vicinity. So again, I could use some help. If you're going westbound, say from I-5 over to the Mukilteo to maybe go down and catch the ferry, or you're heading to the plant or Payne Field, just know you're going to have about a 10-minute delay through that area. That's our one real hiccup today. The rest of the map looks relatively normal. Even Renton to Bellevue is lighter than a typical Friday light. We're about 22 minutes to get you up to Bellevue. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is quiet at only 35 minutes. 35 is what you need as well from Federal Way to Seattle. We do have brake lights past the West Seattle Bridge, but it's manageable. Across the lake, no problems. Coming down from the north end, 35 minutes or less from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems. This report brought to you by Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. This month, when you install a new AC or heat pump, you'll get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Schedule today at dayandnight.net.
Our forecast, we're going to see some sunshine for today and tomorrow and Sunday. It's going to be a really nice weekend. 58 today, and then we'll be into the mid to upper 60s for Saturday and Sunday. Forecast for a high of 70 on Monday with lots of sunshine. Right now, it's 44 in Seattle.
Coming up, more of the day's top headlines and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on the lawsuit being filed in Thurston County over our state's new sheriff oversight law. Luke has all the details on that.
This is Seattle's
The
Morning
John
News.
Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500 pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
You know, calling a ball game is all about being in the moment, the crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd. That's why I love telling you about Uncruise Adventures. Hi, this is Rick Riz. Uncruise Adventures isn't your typical cruise. We're talking small ships, just 22 to 86 guests, so you're not lost in the crowd. And instead of sitting on deck watching the world go by, you're in it. Kayaking, hiking, exploring, right in the heart of the action. It's immersive, it's personal, it's adventure the way it should be. Check out Uncruise Adventures at uncruise.com.
At Guardian Roofing Gutters and Insulation, we know that keeping your home watertight and dry is essential to your family's safety and comfort. Having well-functioning gutters prevents water damage to your home and prolongs the life of your roof. Whether you need a cleaning or a complete gutter install, we do it all. Call today and get $250 off a gutter installation and visit us at guardianroofing.com.
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic, take the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts for you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Jazz Alley invites you to witness a generational talent celebrate two icons. Pianist Emmett Cohen presents Miles and Coltrane at 100. Shows run April 16th through 19th. Tickets at jazzalley.com. Next up, the Bad Plus Farewell Tour.
Harger Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 8:30. A legal challenge to a new Washington law affecting sheriffs is now headed to a different courtroom.
The case centers on a new state law that requires sheriffs to meet new standards and sign a loyalty oath.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more on what happens next.
Yeah, this new law requires all sheriffs to have 5 years of full-time law enforcement experience, be at least 25 years old, no felony or gross misdemeanor convictions, no conduct that would result in their certification by the Criminal Justice Training Commission being revoked, and they have to sign an oath saying they meet all of those standards. Critics and sheriffs who are now suing the state say the law allows the state to pick favorites or become the gatekeepers for who gets to be sheriff and who doesn't, not the people who elected them into office. Their lawyer, Mark Lamb, argued in a superior court in eastern Washington yesterday. It also denies sheriffs the ability to speak their mind and exercise their freedom of speech.
We're talking about the gravest possible consequence under the First Amendment. Infringement of a First Amendment right, even for minimal periods of time, unquestionably constitutes an irreparable injury.
The Solicitor General, Noah Purcell, argued instead sheriffs and sheriff candidates already swear under penalty of perjury that they meet certification standards set by the Criminal Justice Training Commission. Therefore,
they are currently certified under the exact standard that they're saying they can't possibly comply with. It doesn't pass the smell test. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, opponents of the law were hoping for a ruling or on an injunction yesterday in eastern Washington. Instead, that judge moved the case to Thurston County because there's a similar case here in western Washington. A hearing is now set for May 1st.
Luke Ducey reporting live. It's 8:32.
A Seattle social media influencer is putting out a warning after she says she was attacked while running along the waterfront trail near Olympic Sculpture Park Wednesday.
This guy literally came out of the bushes and grabbed me and pulled my clothes towards him in the bushes, and I pulled away, screamed at him, and he let go and then ran into the bushes.
Alyssa Montez was able to pull away and briefly recorded the attacker as he retreated. Her post about the encounter has generated more than 1,000 comments. Her post warns fellow runners to carry pepper spray and be prepared. She has reported the incident to police.
Couple freeway closures to get you prepared for this weekend. Let's start with northbound 405 between Renton and Bellevue. All northbound 405 lanes will be closed from Sunset to Coal Creek Parkway from 11:30 tonight through early Monday morning. The detour route is Coal Creek Parkway, which just can't handle this volume of traffic. State DOT is widening the freeway to expand the express toll lane system.
Also southbound on I-5 through Fife this weekend. A stretch of the lanes are going to be shut down tonight and tomorrow night. They're putting up a new electronic sign. This closure runs from 54th Avenue to Port of Tacoma Road, including the on-ramps from 54th. Crews will start at 11 o'clock each night. The road should reopen by 7:30 tomorrow morning and 8:30 on Sunday morning.
8:33 now. Time for traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And one bit of positive news, there will be no construction over Tiger Mountain on eastbound 18. Once again, for the third week in a row, they have postponed that work because of the weather that we got primarily last night and maybe tonight and maybe into Sunday. That was going to be one of those Thursday night to Monday morning kind of things. It's now been postponed, I think 3 weeks in a row.
We'll take another break then.
Anyway, so that's positive news there. For the rest of the map, we're enjoying a pretty good drive with the exception of about the mile backup we have approaching the Boeing plant on westbound Boeing Freeway. I could really use some help from my KIRO drivers. It is bumper to bumper from about 99 to the plant, and it looks like it extends, up and off, and there might be a crash on the road there as you work your way past at Seaway Boulevard that is backing us up onto the freeway. So I could use a little help there to kind of, explain what's happening because DOT doesn't know either. So that kind of tells me it might be off the freeway. As for the rest of the map, we're looking really good. I mean, we've got a 35 to 40-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, probably closer to 35. The northbound I-5 corridor, we're working our way past the West Seattle Bridge, is not bad at all, 38 minutes there. Valley Freeway, under 40 from end to end. Even the Renton S-curves are not bad, so it is Friday light across the board. Got about 18 minutes to get you from Renton on up into Bellevue. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. With the high price of gas, now's the time to buy a hybrid or all-electric at Subaru of Puyallup. Great selection, great pricing, all at your stress-free dealership, Subaru of Puyallup.com.
It is Friday, and we are headed into a beautiful weekend. For today, some sunshine, 58 the high, 43 overnight, and then tomorrow and Sunday look terrific. Maybe a little more cloudy on Sunday, but a mix of sun and clouds both days. Highs pushing 70 by Sunday, and the official forecast does call for 70 on Monday. We'll still see sunshine, possibly some showers by Tuesday, but really nice until then. It's 44 in Seattle right now.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO Newsradio.
Well, it's 8:35 now. Let's bring you a story of determination, a little bit of resilience as well on a Friday.
I think that's a good idea. Dave Vasconi is a former Marysville police officer, the author of the book Redemption, One Officer's Story and Successful Battle with Obesity.
Now, check this out. Dave lost 197 pounds with no tricks, no injections, just a deep commitment to his own health. Dave joins us in the studio. Good morning, Dave. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
This is a crazy story, nearly 200 pounds. And you did this before Wegovy and all the injections?
Yeah, I did this starting in 2007, and it was a 3-year process for me to lose all my weight. Excuse me?
What prompted you?
I woke up one morning and had strained my back sleeping and went to the doctor. And when they walk you in and stand you on the scale, I saw a number that changed my life, and that number was 408.
And were you an officer at this time?
Yeah, I was a community service officer with Marysville Police for 30 years. And before that, I was with the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office for 9 years as a reserve deputy. And 5 of that was paid full-time police work.
408 pounds. That is a number you see in front of you. What did you resolve to do?
Well, the doctor sent me home with a note that said I had a week off. And I laid there and I pondered my life. And I thought to myself, what will I weigh next year, and what will I weigh the year after that, and when will I be dead? I was 42 at the time. I really didn't think I would live to be past 50, to be honest.
Wow. So what did you do?
So I decided to put together an eating plan, and it was basically a high-protein, low-carb, low-calorie, no sugar, low-sodium type of diet, and started my journey and morphed into walking 5 or 6 days a week, because when you're that big, you just got to start slow. Eventually incorporated weights in, and the weight came off on a very consistent basis. In 11 months, I dropped 100 pounds.
Wow.
And at 20 months, I was down 160. And then I kept it off for a year before having surgery all the way around my midsection to remove what reminds you of weight loss afterwards, which is hanging skin and fat, basically.
So when people hear this, maybe they're struggling, they have doubts that they're able to do this, maybe they're yo-yo dieters, what have you. What's your message for them?
Well, my message is if you want it bad enough, it's yours. And I know what it's like to lose 100 pounds twice and gain it back and more, which I did during the first 19 years of my police career. And I know how horrible it feels. And the embarrassment it can cause us as a morbidly obese man. I had a bunch of terrible feelings about it. And what I did was I harnessed all those feelings, and those feelings drove me to hate being the obese man that I had become. And that drove me. So I just pushed hard every day, and nothing was going to stop me. But I can relate.
Yeah.
And so the book is designed to walk people through my process, how I gained it all, how careless I was, but also how I was able to overcome it. And I just want to help inspire people to set off on their own journeys.
You know, as someone who's kind of, not to that level, I know I'm not where I need to be, and I've got 50 or 60 that I'm looking at, and I'm at the gym every day, but it's the eating part that I can't quit, right? It's the having a beer at night that I can't quit. And it's like you're treading water, and I'm just like, talk about the components of what it takes to really make that difference. It's nothing huge. It's just, but boy, it's got to be that dedication.
Yeah, food is a super powerful thing in all of our lives. And, just because I lost 197 pounds and I've kept it off now for 15 years, this is a very full circle moment for me to be with you guys today to talk about it. But I will tell you that just because I lost all this weight doesn't mean I haven't been struggling. I have my struggles. I'll go up 20 pounds and then I drop it, or I go up 5 pounds and then I drop it. And I used to always think that fit people it just was naturally, they just were naturally thin, maybe like David. And but what I learned is that folks who are fit are working hard to have it every day. And I certainly have been working hard for the last 15 years to keep it off.
I'm afraid we're almost out of time. I could sit and chat with you forever, but I see you have brought a prop.
I did bring a prop.
What is this?
These are my size 58 jeans that I used to wear.
My goodness.
I don't know if the camera can
see those.
Shows
it. You're watching the YouTube feed. There you go.
There you go. They're huge.
That's half of you.
That's half of me.
Wow.
I'm a 34, 36 today. So
I'm really happy for you.
Dropped a few pounds.
That's awesome.
So hopefully inspire people.
Can I ask real quickly? I'm going to make us late, but I'm just curious. There's a new survey out that says 1 in 8 U.S. American adults are on GLP-1s. I'm just curious your thought about that craze.
I think however you can lose it, lose it. That's my message. I don't judge anybody. It doesn't matter how you lose your weight, because that's the key to longevity and a better life. And obesity kills lots of people every year, and we don't hear about that.
Yeah, we want to live a long, healthy life.
Yeah.
All right. Dave Vasconi, his book is called Redemption, One Officer's Story and Successful Battle with Obesity. I'm assuming we can get that online, Dave?
You can get that at Amazon.com, and I appreciate it very much.
Congratulations. It's super nice to meet you.
Thanks, Manda. Yeah. Nice to meet all of you. Thank you.
All right. Time to go to a break here. Before we do that, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, I'm still looking for the issue for the Boeing freeway, but I think I found it. It's off the freeway, and I'll tell you about it next.
A lot of businesses are gearing up for a busy summer, and that means choosing a bank with the accounts, tools, and services you need to be successful. The right bank can make a big difference, right, Brad?
It sure can, Dave. And WaFd Bank can help with business checking, loans, credit cards, and so much more. WaFd Bank is also an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you can grow with confidence.
Yeah, but what about when you need help with something? Is there a real person who's available and who knows how to help?
Absolutely. Our friendly and knowledgeable local bankers are ready and waiting to help you with whatever your business might need. From day one, our bankers get to know you and your business to build a strong foundation for future success. This especially helps when it's time to apply for loans and to spot gaps in your business operations, so we can recommend the services that would be most helpful.
Which is exactly why we say WaFd has you covered. To learn more, visit wafedbank.com or stop by your local branch. Discover why they were awarded Best Bank 3 years in a row. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC, loans subject to credit approval.
What if the biggest risk to your retirement isn't your investments? It's retiring without a plan for your life. Most people are told the same story. Save enough, invest wisely, and everything will work out. But no one really explains what happens when the paycheck stops and your identity and daily life changes overnight. Brian Evans and Dr. Richard Himmer, partners at Madrona Financial and CPAs, are hosting a live webinar called Beyond the Numbers, the conversation your advisor should be having with you. In this session, they'll walk through the financial side, income, taxes, and investment strategy, and the human side of retirement. How to design a life your money is meant to support. Because no single product solves retirement, and no financial plan works without a clear vision for your life. The next event is April 21st at 6:30 p.m. To register, visit madronafinancial.com/events or call 833-673-7373. And be sure to catch Growing Your Wealth, Saturdays at 9 a.m.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through Sunday, May 3rd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
8:43 now. We check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And before I get to the issue on Seaway Boulevard, while we were talking here, we've had a new crash on southbound 405 right approaching Canyon Park. And so we have backed up pretty significantly. Don't have which lane it's in, but it probably is in more than one because this backed up super fast. So you're going to need about 45 minutes now to go from Everett down into Bellevue. So we've added about 10 minutes to that trip. You compare that to the 35 we have from Everett to Seattle, and you kind of see the disparity. Now, here's what we have going on westbound 526, the Boeing Freeway. We have a crash off of Seaway Boulevard. Seaway Boulevard is the road you take to get off to the Boeing plant. So they say if you're going to the business offices, not to, the plant's right there, but then you have the two matching buildings that look identical and you get lost in one and you think you're in one and you're in the other. Holly used to work up there at business. I'm like, where am I? She's like, I'm in the other building. I'm like, what are you talking about? But you know what I mean. So it's right there kind of as you get to the Wildland area, there's Seaway Boulevard. And so what this has done is this has backed up people trying to go to the plant or whatnot back onto the freeway. Backup's about a mile. So keep that in mind. The rest of the map, though, Friday light. Renton to Bellevue is only 22 minutes. We have the Valley Freeway about 45. 35 from Federal Way to Seattle, and the lake bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube. Click subscribe and get fresh video content daily.
Beautiful Friday. We're going to warm up to about 58 today with a mix of clouds and sunshine. That's pretty much the picture through the weekend, but it will be warmer. How about 67 tomorrow, 69 on Sunday, and we might officially hit 70 on Monday. Tuesday, look for some showers. Right now in Seattle, the sunshine, and it's 44.
Coming up, it's Friday, then Saturday, Sunday.
What?
KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden has our weekend planner up next on Seattle's Morning News.
Some people out there love to do things entirely on their own. Others ask for help and trust their resources. When involved in an auto accident, you've got the choice of dealing with insurance on your own or hiring an attorney. I'm joined in studio by Harold D. Carr. He represents Harold Carr Law Offices. Harold, what's one of the main reasons for seeking representation?
If you were to look at statistics, most people end up with a lot less recovery when they don't have a law firm representing them.
And why should they hire Harold Carr Law Offices?
We're not shy about bringing lawsuits. We do try to settle, and insurance companies know that. They know that we're fair in how we talk to them. The answer is really, we are very professional. But we've had cases, big and small, where we've had to take it into litigation, and about 98% of those will settle in mediation. A lot more than the client originally expected.
Visit carlaw.com. That's carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call Carr.
The throw at first, and it's in time. Holy smokes, what a play by J.P. Crawford.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But if you're looking for a truly golden view, look no further than the seats on the first baseline, a.k.a. Trident-Town. Post up behind the Mariners dugout, and you get a great view of Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and our entire rotation at work.
Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs, blew it by him, strike 3.
Not to mention the best view of the best home run celebration in baseball. When the Trident goes up, you know a party's going down.
It is gone!
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The Mariners are back in town today for a 6-game homestand. Don't miss tonight's Kingdome Fanny Pack Hat Night at 6:40 versus the Rangers. Thanks to Global Credit Union and 3 straight Mariners value games against the A's. Monday through Wednesday with tickets starting under $12. Lock in your seats at mariners.com.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Well, looks like a beautiful weekend on tap.
Oh, yeah. If you're still looking for something to do, KIRO Newsradio's Paul Holden has you covered.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what?
The rain might have rolled through this weekend and cooled things off a bit, but warmer temperatures are in sight for a weekend full of fun. It's a big weekend for the music lovers as Record Store Day is Saturday. There are going to be exclusive deals, exclusive records, and lots more going on at record stores across the state. You're going to want to plan ahead and get to your favorite shop early. I mean, some of you might already be lined up, so you don't miss out on the records you want. I did have someone reach out with a shout out to Musicology in Edmonds, which is turning the day into a mini music festival with multiple live shows, exclusive giveaways, and Record Store Day drops. You can see all the action on Record Store Day on Saturday. Record Store Day isn't the only big shopping event of the weekend for fans of vinyl. The Northwest's largest garage and vintage sale is taking over the Clark County Event Center in Ridgefield Saturday from 8 to 5. There are over 600 indoor garage sales, and the sellers keep 100% of the sales. Get tickets and additional details on the event's website. If you're looking for a free event to take the family to this weekend, the Fisher Pavilion in the Seattle Center is hosting the 17th Annual Seattle International Children's Friendship Festival. This volunteer-run event highlights music, dance, and art from around the world and also has hands-on activities that focus on STEM. The International Children's Festival is Saturday and Sunday starting at 11 a.m. and is free. Also in the Seattle Center this weekend, you might see a lot of our furry friends, but not the usual folks out just walking their dogs. Cats are the star of the show at Pop Cats, a convention that is all about cats, featuring speakers and workshops to teach you about cats, vendors for you to pamper your pet, and an opportunity to add to your family with adoptable cats. Don't worry, this is not just an event for people. The cats are invited too, so bring your family friend along with you. Pop Cat is Saturday and Sunday at the Seattle Center Exhibition Hall. Earth Day is coming up on Wednesday, the 22nd, and there are a variety of events to kick off the celebrations this Saturday, including the Earth Day Run at Magnuson Park and Earth Fest at the Bellevue Botanical Gardens, which runs from 11 to 3, is free and features family-friendly activities, resource booths, and live music. There's also Earth Day celebrations at Meridian Habitat Park in Puyallup and at Saltwater State Park in Des Moines. If you're up for a bit of an adventure this weekend, a listener reached out and said the weather is going to be perfect for the Long Beach Razor Clam Festival. The seafood celebration will have food trucks, local vendors, live music, cook-offs, an oyster shucking contest, and plenty of family fun. There will be daily clam digging lessons and clam cleaning demos so you can learn how to harvest clams for your own bounty of Pacific Razor clams. The festival is today and tomorrow in Long Beach. It is a busy sports weekend as the Mariners are back at home taking on a couple of AL West rivals during their next homestand. The Texas Rangers are in town over the weekend, and it is a weekend packed full of great promos, including the Kingdome Fanny Pack hat tonight, Cal Raleigh 70s Jersey Night Saturday, and 70s Pin Day on Sunday. The Mariners are also doing Stitch and Pitch at the ballpark on Sunday, so feel free to bring your own projects to work on or check out the Mariner Moose Crochet Kit and access to the vendor fair on the rooftop boardwalk. The Seattle Sounders take on St. Louis City SC at Lumen Field Saturday night. Match time is 6:30. There's also a couple of roller derby bouts this weekend as well. Rat City Roller Derby has a doubleheader at Hangar 30 in Magnuson Park Saturday at 3:30 and 6, doors opening at 2. And Jet City Roller Derby has a doubleheader at the Edmonds Community College in the Seaview Gym in Linwood at 5 and 7 p.m. with doors opening at 4. How are you enjoying the final stretch of April? Let me know at paulh@KIRORadio.com. Paul Holden, KIRO News Radio.
You know, Charlie, I really hope Officer David Vasconi is listening right now as he leaves the studio. We just had him on. If you missed him, he told us his amazing journey of a 200-pound weight loss.
Yeah.
We're getting a ton of listener comments on the text line
that's great.
about how he was inspiring. And
great story. I hope we can have Dave back on again.
He's great.
Great personality. Yeah, and hearing that Sully Razor Clam Festival going on this weekend.
Yeah, our good friend Paul.
Have you ever been razor clamming?
Oh, we've been razor clamming tons and tons of times illegally.
Whoa.
Okay. Mom's been dead for a while, but so I could let out her secret because we have a family beach house that we've had down there since 1895 on the Long Beach Peninsula. Mom could never
go. 1895?
Yes, built by the family. And Mom would never go down there during the winter times because it was too cold. There's no insulation in the house. There's nothing. When the clam tides were. So she would wait until the summer when the tide would go all the way out. The razor clams would leave the little keyhole, and then she'd just suck them out when they have no chance. Totally illegal. $500 a clam. And she'd be like, hey, this is my beach. Just because I don't come here in the winter doesn't mean and we're like, Mom, what are you? So she would make us kids when the cops would go down she'd be like, you guys start digging. Pretend like I'm like, she'd make the dog dig. She'd make us dig. And my dad would be like, he goes, those are $500. Like, what are you doing? So Mom cheated a little bit. So no, I've never done it legally.
Okay.
I would recommend doing it legally.
God bless her. That's awesome.
That's Joan Dundar Sullivan for you.
Right.
God bless her. She made me a criminal, a federal criminal.
I think we might have to arrest Sully. Is there a statute of limitations? I don't know.
Probably changes my perception.
Probably not.
Of you.
I never kept them because, but boy, I did cut myself on. That's why they're called razor clams for a reason. It's not because they're nice.
8:53, traffic on the threes. Chris Sullivan one more time.
And for more of my criminal history, you can find that somewhere on a blotter, I'm sure, somewhere. We continue to work with this crash on southbound 405 approaching Canyon Park. It was in the toll lane. Now it looks like it's over on the right-hand lane, but we have jammed up all the way back to about the Linwood split. So give yourself about 50 minutes now to go from Everett into Bellevue. 15 minutes behind schedule, and it's all just right there. Once you're through Canyon Park, you're fine. Going down I-5, it's only 35 minutes from the Everett area down into Seattle, so that's great. Looks like they might have cleared they've cleared the crash on Seaway Boulevard outside the Boeing executive offices there at Payne Field, so that backup on westbound 526 has gone away, so that's positive. The rest of the map, we do have, another new little crash. This one just popped up, northbound 405 or Southeast 8th, coming up from Renton to Bellevue. Going to need about 25 minutes now, a couple of minutes lost there. Valley Freeway looks good, I-5 northbound looks fine. The lake bridges are cool. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Sun is shining. We're headed for a high of 58 for today. For tomorrow and Sunday, nice mix of sun and clouds, and highs will be in the upper 60s. We should hit 70 on Monday, and then chance of showers returns on Tuesday, but very nice until then. Right now in Seattle, it's sunny and 44.
Yeah, have a great weekend. Get out and enjoy it. Coming up on the G and Ursula Show, Fresh Friday, Seattle City Attorney Erica Evans will join the show. You're listening to KIRO News Radio on a Friday morning.
Download the KIRO News Radio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO News Radio app. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
If you've lived in the Northwest for more than 5 minutes, you already know the Subaru Outback. It's the car I drive, and I bought it at Carter Subaru, Seattle's only Subaru dealership. Ursula Reutin here. Right now, the 2026 Subaru Outback comes with 3.9% APR financing. It's the perfect car for Pacific Northwest driving. Visit Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability, a documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized costs. See dealer for details. Valid through 4/30/26.
Nothing worse than clutter. With Closets by Design, everything will finally have its place. 40% off plus 15% more and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. ClosetsByDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN today.
Trying to figure out assisted living for a parent or a loved one while life keeps moving full speed? It's tough. Hey, it's Spike O'Neill. Here's what I wish someone had told me sooner. Aegis Living. These are luxury communities, resort-style amenities. Voted best of Western Washington and ranked #1 senior living community in all of America for 2025 by Seniorly. Go to aegisliving.com/spike, schedule a visit, and get a special take-home gift. And when you take the tour, don't be surprised if you turn to whoever's with you and say, this must be the place, because it is. aegisliving.com/spike.
The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A moo-moo is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO News Radio app.
Owie, wowie.
What's with the
water heater's worn out?
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all,
what?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month. 51,
52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today.
free, if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at ApolloPlumbing.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about baseball. It's game day. The stadium roof is open. Our club's putting up a fight. They're cold brews in hand. But outside, the police are getting ready to spot fans trying to steal their home base. Maybe the night threw you a curveball. An officer made an error. Or perhaps the bases weren't the only thing loaded. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know it's not 3 strikes, it's 1 strike. And you're facing the Grand Slammer. 1-800-DUI-AWAY is here to help, even if we have to go into overtime. So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up your free private consultation. When you're on defense, it's full count, bottom of the 9th. You want your closing pitcher on the mound. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY. Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build.